Whew. What is good there, everybody? What is good? Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I don't know how long I'll be doing this, but today, man, we're going to be doing some live ass commentary for this fight card, man, because this fight card is pretty goddamn amazing. For those of you, of course, that have not seen the fight card, uh, Isaac Cruz versus Lamont Roach Jr. Erislandy Lara, who unfortunately does not have an elite level opponent anymore because Janabek, I believe, ended up having to pull out of the fight because of PEDs. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And I believe, God, what's the other fight? Oh, yeah, man, the Steven Fulton, I believe, versus, what's his name? Moshiko Foster or something like that? I forget his name. Anyways, man, hopefully more y'all tune in. I am really sorry that I was not able to post any videos this week. There was so much stuff that was going on, new apartment, everything like that, man. So I apologize, everything like that, man. But we're gonna have fun tonight. We're gonna live stream the last remaining boxing fights, man. Should be a fun time because I'm excited for the main fight, especially the second fight. I think is interesting as well. But yeah, man, we got Jesus Ramos versus Mosley Jr. right now. I'll tell you what, Jesus Ramos is having a lot more problems than what I thought he would within this fight. I did not think that he was going to have this many problems within this fight. And Jesus Ramos is someone that I've been impressed with for a while now. He only has one loss. For those of you that don't know, he's someone that I believe only lost to Erickson Lubin. And I actually thought that he got robbed in that fight. But this fight here, for whatever reason, this appears to be the most challenging fight of his career against Mosley Jr., who's kind of been a little bit more of a journeyman. Let's see. Your boy Jay says Amazon is tripping, asking us to pay $75 for a card that has motherfuckers popping for PEDs and a motherfucker missed weight. That is pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Two fights are basically fucked up on this because, man, I was so excited for the Lara Janabek fight. Then Janabek like a week. Hey man, what's good? What's up, Monty McQueen? Yeah, man, it's been a while for me too. I've had a lot of stuff going on, man. But yeah, dude, it's always awesome to see you guys here. Thank you. Man, this is such a great card, and it's so a good card, man. But it's like Janabek versus Lara was canceled. Janabek got caught on PEDs. It's just so disappointing, really, to see that happen. Lara stated that he wants action to be taken against him, and I don't blame him. I mean, I don't blame him. Then Steven Fulton versus Foster. It was supposed to be a title fight, I believe, at 130. Now it's at 135 because, get this, Steven Fulton, the one who moved up in weight, who was a champion at like 122, missed weight by like not just 0.5. He missed weight by 2 pounds, 2 total pounds. I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of a fighter who started off at like 122, moves up to 130. It's your third weight class to get a title, and you missed the weight by 2 pounds. Never seen that before. That's pretty fucking wild. I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, let me check the volume. By the way, I'm gonna check my live stream real quick. But anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting card. Let's see. Hold on one sec, folks. Let's see. Okay, good. That's because Fulton really wasn't that small. I kind of agree with you. I think that, especially in the Inoue fight, you can see that he's a little bit more bigger than what is advertised. But Inoue is also just he's not a big dude, so it was kind of hard to see. But if Fulton especially wins tonight, that Inoue win is going to look so, or that the Fulton win on Inoue's resume is going to look so huge. And I know that Foster's not someone that is just, unbeatable, but, he's still someone that's big, powerful, gotten better. It's going to be a good win. But let's see. How the hell do you not know if freaking PEDs are in the food you eat? Grown-ass men apparently don't know what is in the food they eat. I mean, I heard Janabek made some sort of excuse, basically the same shit, that they always do. I'm never a personal believer of that. I mean, I guess you don't know. We'll see what the B sample says. But I'm a personal believer that especially if you're a professional boxer, you're usually very careful about what you ingest, what you eat, what you drink, because of something like this. People are looking to kind of fuck up your life a lot of the time sometimes. So that's why they're very careful. Like AJ, I think there was like a story one time where AJ Anthony Joshua, he wanted to, receive like a cake or something, from a fan or something as a gift, and he just wanted to be nice about it. And Floyd Mayweather said, "Hey, don't take that shit because you never know what people try to put in your stuff to like mess with you," which is a really smart way of thinking, actually, because when you're a high level star, a lot of people probably will come at you and they think, they seem nice, but they're really not. Let's see. He once posted a photo of his scale weighing 175 pounds or so. Fulton, that's actually quite a bit fucking heavy. That's crazy. I mean, damn. Wow. I mean, fighters, they do rehydrate quite a bit fucking bigger, but 175 pounds, that'd be huge. I'd have to see that one. Shit. Anyways, this Jesus Ramos fight though with Shane Mosley, it's a lot more competitive than what I expected it was going to be. Um, and I've been impressed with Ramos mainly, but his head movement is not super impressive this fight. And I think that he's winning, but it's not a fight that's a confirmed win for him yet. Um, if Mosley, let's say, were to get a knockdown, this very well could be an upset here. He's got to really kick this in gear. This is a very close fight so far, and he's been rattled like several times. It's like I've never seen Ramos perform this bad in a fight before. His head movement is really lacking. Yeah, Mosley is giving him that work, to be quite honest with you. He really is. Frank Martin looked great at 140 earlier today. Yeah, I mean, pretty much every fight has gone like I have predicted so far. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to give you guys my fight predictions. I was not able to do any in-depth analysis really, so I'm only going off of what I've seen from the past. Um, I'll probably have to go with Steve Von Fulton for the win. Um, just going with my gut feeling kind of on that one, as well as I think the superior boxing ability. I'm also going to go with Lamont Roach. But yeah, Frank Martin, I pretty much predicted him to win. Rances Bartholomew, anyone who knows him knows that he's not someone that's super elite. He's very sloppy, throws slappy punches. He's basically never won a huge fight in his career. So that was pretty easy to predict. Frank Martin, in my view, is a legit around like an A minus to A grade level fighter. I think that is hands down actually the biggest win in Gervonta Tank Davis's career. Um, I have $2,000 on Fulton via decision. Where do you guys get this money, man? Where do you guys get this money to bet $2,000? I always get someone in my comment section every week saying, "Man, I bet $5,000, $2,000." It's like, good lord, man. Well, props to you if you win that bet, brother. Man, I'm just not a betting man myself because you never know what's going to happen in these sports. Damn. But I'm rooting for Fulton as well because I like him as a fighter. He's entertaining to watch, and it'd be nice to see him win the fight. Although he kind of fucked it up on the scales, but whatever. That's a good right by Mosley. Good left by Ramos. Good body work there by Ramos. Good man. Ramos he's countering a lot with the hooks. He is outworking Mosley mainly, but he's winding up on his punches a little bit too much in my view. I'm not quite sure if this is regular Ramos or if he kind of underestimated Mosley a little bit here. I guess I'd have to watch a little bit more of him, but Mosley's giving him a lot of problems. He's not moving his head off the center line extraordinarily well. He got caught with a good right there. Mosley did. Ramos has a wicked right hook counter. Yeah, it's the guy just said the same thing I said. He's winding up on his shots. He's almost kind of fighting like a fighter that didn't expect Mosley to really give him this much of a fight, which I wouldn't have expected either. But let's see. I got Roach to win, and I had Fulton winning, but he's not taking this seriously, so I got Foster by UD, even though I really want Fulton to win. I guess I wouldn't be able to tell you because I can't really look at the factors. I haven't been able to look at anything all week because I think that maybe he could be trying to get somewhat of an advantage there, but maybe it'll work against him. I don't know. He looked in okay condition from what I've seen, but we'll see. Maybe he just really didn't want to miss, or maybe he just really didn't want to drain himself any further. I don't know, which is weird. But I think Ramos won that round right there, but that was tough. Jaime Core, to make a bet on the Stevenson versus Lopez fight. I have Stevenson personally in that fight. I think Shakur will probably win that fight, but if Teofimo won it, I wouldn't be surprised. I just think that Shakur is going to be too elusive, too defensive, too slick, and I don't think that Teofimo, I don't think that he throws enough. That's who I would have in that fight, but hell, my streaks have not been super great as of lately, so we'll see. Anyways, for those of you that may just be tuning in, we got this fight between Jesus Ramos versus Shane Mosley Jr. right now, and this is actually a hell of a fight. I would say that Jesus Ramos is just edging it, but it is super competitive. It was not supposed to be this competitive, and Jesus has just been really winding up on his punches. The head movement has been severely lacking. Um, he's kind of going more on the inside now. Before he was kind of moving in and out and exchanging, but it looks like he knows that he's going to have to put on the pressure a little bit more. Good body work. Good inside work by Ramos. Good left. I think I'm pretty confident that Stevenson will win that fight, but you just never know. Teofimo is a legit A-grade level fighter. He's someone that is a pound-for-pound level fighter, as well as Shakur. I just think Shakur is more skilled. Now, if Teofimo can use his feet and move enough and kind of, keep Stevenson back with some of those power shots, it might work. I don't think it's going to happen that way, but we'll see. But that's a great fight. I love to see that fight set up. And the winner of that fight could very well be top 5 pound for pound, by the way. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Whew. Ramos is putting some sting on those. That's because Teo does great against elite fighters, but struggles against cans. Kinda. I mean, Teo's a great boxer. But he does have more faults in my view than Shakur. If Shakur can handle his power and if he's able to throw consistently, I just don't see how Shakur is really going to be able to lose that fight. Teo would have to. Teo's not really a fighter that works off of volume. He kind of works off of accuracy and, kind of more quality rather than quantity. And in my view, to be debatably number 1 pound per pound, you got to know how to do both. And Teo, sometimes his work rate isn't as much as what you'd want it to be. And I'm expecting that would be the reason why I would favor Shakur in that fight. But you never know. If Teo's somehow able to have the pinpoint accurate shots, I don't see it against someone as slick and defensively sound like Shakur. But we'll see. Let's see. Good little uppercut there by Ramos. It's going to be an interesting decision. I do think Ramos, however, is ahead in this fight. I just think he's landed too much and been the one with the more consistent work. Mosley has great bursts, but he's just not doing enough in this fight. Not to clearly win it anyway. Just in my view. There's Isaac Pitbull Cruz. That's a fight, by the way, that I think could easily go either way. If Lamont Roach really wants to truly win that fight, he needs to throw consistently. Because sometimes, like what I've seen in the Tank fight, he kind of lets his opponents work a little bit too often or does not throw enough. And that can be a major problem. Because Isaac Cruz is not someone that is very multidimensional, but he throws a lot. And if he can get within range, because you're not throwing enough, and if he's able to throw enough, even if it's not all he's landing, you could lose. So I expect Lamont to be sharper. I expect him to use his feet. But if he lost this fight, I wouldn't be surprised at all, especially because it is his first fight at 140. But yeah, we'll see. That's going to be a great fight, though. All right, round 11, I believe, folks. Let's see what Ramos is doing here. Good jab. Using his feet a little bit more here. Good 1-2. Shakur will do to Tio what Haney did to Regis. Bold prediction. I'll probably get it wrong, but I'm going to stand for it. I think Shakur will probably beat Tio soundly. I think it's at least, he's at the very least, in my view, going to beat him 8 rounds to 4. Just in my view. I'm not going to say it's going to be as dominant or like, I don't expect like, a knockdown, for example. But I expect Shakur to dominate Tio. And I think Tio's going to look clueless somewhat on the front foot. Where also he is not the best. And I think that Shakur's going to have his way in there. That's just my personal view. But yeah, we'll see, though. Two great fighters. Good little work there by Ramos. Good body shot. Good body work there. Good little, okay, finally a little bit of head movement, especially on the inside. That's good. Because a very good right hook. Ramos has that right hook down, boy. I tell you what. And he's got that good little left hook to the body. Good left up top, too. Uh-oh. Oh, he might be hurt. He's hurt. Oh, no. Yeah, he's a little bit wobbly. Yeah, he's a little bit wobbly. He has a little bit of noodle legs right now. He's still standing, but there's a minute and a half left. He could easily get stopped here. Let's see what happens. Turning fire, but Ramos hands a good left. Okay, he switched stances. Good right again. God damn it. Can you... Jesus Christ. Like, return your left back to your face, dude. Jesus. That right hook has landed about 37 times in a row. It's like, goddamn. He just landed a good left, that thing. Oh! Wow. You got to give the man credit. The man has a chin. He took some hella fight fucking shots this round. Holy shit. Good little head movement there by Ramos. I think he needs to move his head off the center line a little bit more when he's on the outside. You don't want to, do it so repetitively to the point to where it's, people can time you. But he needs to move his head off the center line a bit more. That was a huge round for Ramos. Yeah, no, that was a huge round. No, that was a huge round. He damn near stopped him. Let's take a look at some of the replays here. Beautiful left. Shea Mosley kind of throws a little bit of a lazy jab out there. He still keeps his right hand up, but Ramos just has that left uppercut, or hook, and he can do it up top or down to the bottom. That man is sharp as all hell. Got another good right in there. Wow. Ooh. Props to him, man. Props to him for having a chin. Tonight, we're also getting the final pay-per-view in the history of the UFC, unless they change their model again, like DAZN. Yeah, we have the UFC pay-per-view as well. I don't think I'm going to stream that, but I might do a video on it. It's not a terrible card, but I didn't think it was a great one either, so I decided not to really. I don't think I'm going to live stream it. It's got some great fighters on there, but it's not really any fights that I would say are like amazing. But Ramos coming out swinging. But yeah, but we'll see what they do with their model. I'm kind of curious myself. I know that they'll be going on Paramount. Ramos is coming out swinging. Mosley is his hands are down a little bit too low. I think he blew a lot of his load somewhat within that of the earlier rounds. He's not doing bad though. I'll give him credit. I don't think Mosley Jr. is ever going to be a fighter that's really going to be a champion. I don't think he's ever going to be within that realm, but you got to give the man at least a little bit of credit. He did show some improvement. And he showed he was really tough in this fight, but he's just not elite caliber material. Now, the question is about Jesus Ramos. I think he has a lot of potential but in that middleweight division, because it's actually starting to become very talented with guys like Ramos and Adams and Lara and Janabek, he's gonna have to perform better than this. Because if he performs like this, I don't think he would beat Adams or Janabek. Lara, I think, is the most vulnerable champion there just because he's like 42. But he would even have to be careful against Erislandy Lara. Nice try with the right hook. Speaking of Erislandy Lara's up next, by the way. Good uppercut to the body. What's up, Realist? Who you got? Roach or Pitbull? It's unfortunate about Janabek. Really want, yeah, man. I'm so upset about that. First of all, it's sad to kind of see Janabek just kind of take that in the front. I mean, I'm a believer that a lot of fighters are taking steroids anyway, but it's just unfortunate when you see it. Because obviously no one likes, the cheating in the sport. But and then on top of that, of course, obviously it's a huge fight that squandered. It sucks. Because I was so excited for that fight. Anyone who knows me knows that I've always loved watching Lara for a very long time. He's been one of my favorite fighters. I did not favor him in the fight. I thought that Janabek was gonna clearly beat him, combined with his skill and also with Lara's age. But it still would have been a great fight. And that was just unfortunate because now the fight's canceled and this card is and I already mentioned this, someone mentioned this earlier. There's two cards, like this card was really great actually. And then it's still good, but two fights just fucked it up now. It's not the same. Fulton missed weight by 2 pounds. Now it's not even a title fight anymore. And Janabek got caught on PEDs, so people have been waiting for this big unification for Janabek for a long ass time. And then the first major opportunity he gets, and he gets caught on PEDs. So I mean, it's whatever. But if you're gonna do it, then you have what's coming to you. You gotta suffer the consequences. Yeah, that was a great fight. That was a pretty tremendous fight. And by the way, I have Roach winning more than likely, but I was not unfortunately able to go super in depth with anything this week because I just had so much stuff to do, moving to a new apartment, everything like that. So there was so little time for me this week. But if I had to guess, I'm going with Roach, and I think that Fulton will more than likely win as well. But to be fair, I've not watched much of Foster, but I do know that he appears to be more faulty as a fighter than what Fulton is, but he's never fought at that weight before. So we'll see. I want to see the scorecards on this. I think that Ramos, I did not score it directly, but I think that he won it probably at the very least, probably around 8 rounds to 4. I think that Mosley had some tough moments, but I think some people are going to try to make this fight closer than what it actually was. I think Mosley had some very good rounds, but I don't think he won it. Like I don't think there's an argument that he won this fight. I'll say that. But credit to him. He showed a tough chin, tough heart. Gotta give him credit for that. Yeah, I mean the CompuBox stats basically say right there, more accurate in every category. 281 total to 219, power 196 to 155. I mean, stats don't always tell the whole story, but I mean, even if you just take a look at the fight, Ramos won this fight clearly. But yeah, speaking of not just the UFC, but also about boxing, I got to see what the next big pay per view is. I'm not sure what it is. Also, I heard about Usyk versus Wilder possibly being next. That shit's that's pretty crazy. I didn't expect that. I must say. I think I know what Usyk is going for. He's trying to go for all the great champions of his era, but I'd much rather see him fight Wardley or Itama or someone else like that. Wilder's just he's pretty much done. All right, here comes the decision. Unanimous, pretty much. My score. Yeah.
He is now the interim WBC middleweight world title holder, Jesus.
Yeah. That was the right scorecard. I know there's going to be a lot of people that say, "Oh, 9 rounds to 3. What were you watching?" But I think it's debatable. I think you can debate that. Ramos, I thought, was the clear winner. The fight had a lot of competitive moments, but it wasn't close. Like, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Ramos, especially those last 4 rounds, he was starting to take over. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes next. I'd love to see him fight Lara. I'd love to see him fight Adams. Janibek, of course, but we don't even know what's happening with Janibek. We don't know if he's getting suspended or what. I mean, I'm sure if the B sample comes back positive, which if I had to guess, it probably will, he's probably going to get suspended and stripped. So, yeah, we'll see.
Download the app, enter the promo code, and get in on the action. The crown is yours.
Well, we're in San Antonio. Of course, it is the Alamo City. By the way, I took a visit to the Alamo today. Shout out to Sam Houston. Helped us in the Republic of Texas. I learned a lot today about the Alamo City.
Good on Jesus Ramos, though. Up next is Erislandy Lara versus, I think this dude's name is like Gonzalez or something like that. I've heard of him. I don't really remember him. Let me look him up real quick, though. And then after that, we got the two big fights. Let's see, though. Let's see. Who's the man that he's fighting real quick? Hold on. Let me take a look, folks. Don't say it. Come on. Where is it? Yeah, Gonzalez, 36-4. Have I seen this guy before? Yeah, Jonas Telez. Jesus. I think I've seen this. Yeah, I think I've seen this guy. He's not that good. Man, that just sucks that fight was squandered, man. Oh, well. Mike Rodriguez says, I would not even mind seeing Usyk fight Ajit Kapiel because Ajit is a good fighter as well. People forget about him. I think that Ajit Kapiel is a real threat to anybody in that weight class, in all honesty, man. He's a real good boxer. He puts on a lot of pressure. He can box. I don't know if he's someone that can fight great within a multitude of styles because he pretty much has that pressure type of style. But it works. He was able to stop Frank Sanchez, and he was also able to beat someone else to him. No. He got the upset against that one undefeated Russian dude. I don't think he was ever that impressive, but the knockout wins over Zhang, though. And what was the other one? Frank Sanchez. Those are both incredible wins. Ajay Kabiel is deserving of a title shot, in my view. He actually, in my view, would potentially, other than Itama, would probably give Usyk the toughest fight. Yeah, he stopped Arslanbek, that big-ass Russian. Yeah, no, I remember him. That stiff motherfucker. I remember him. There's Mario Barrios. What the fuck is this guy? What are you wearing for earrings, dude? Those guys wearing like some Indian feathers or something like that. Mario Barrios, I've already stated this. One of the most overrated boxers in all the boxing. I know that to some people that might be a hot take, but it really shouldn't be. This guy in his last two fights had draws. He had a draw against a guy that I don't even remember his fucking name. Some Latino dude at welterweight. Then he almost lost to a 47-year-old Manny Pacquiao who hasn't fought in like 4 years. Pretty much the only reason why Mario Barrios was ever a title holder in the first place was because Al Heyman put him in a great position to make Gervonta Tank Davis's resume look better. And it's the same reason why Rolly Romero and Isaac Cruz were champions as well. Because all those guys ended up getting their titles because of vacancies or because of fighting week competition. It just is what it is. I didn't know you were doing a fight. Yeah, man. Sorry. I never really post anything other than videos on my thing because like people don't look at the posts that much, but it's like, But yeah, man, I'm doing it. Let's see if Ryan Garcia finally takes the title from him. I don't know. I would not predict Ryan Garcia to beat Mario Barrios. I would not. I don't think Ryan Garcia is that good, to be honest with you. And I think that was proven in his last fight. Um, but Mario Barrios is, we all know why he's been overrated. It's basically been because of the Gervonta Tank Davis fans. They keep trying to debate that he's fought all these A-grade level fighters. I think that he's fought one legit A-grade level fighter, maybe a couple, and, maybe Leo Santa Cruz and Frank Merton, I think for sure. But other than that, it's like, I don't know if you've ever really fought any legit A-grade level fighters or beat them. Now, Lamont Roach, if he wins tonight, will be an A-grade level fighter. But you weren't supposed to lose against that dude. You're supposed to be a top 10 pound for pound level fighter, top 5 in some people's eyes, which I think is ridiculous because he does not have the resume nor the accomplishments to be there, nor the skill set, to be quite honest with you. If you take a look at his fights with Rolly Romero and, Hector Garcia and some of these other guys, and I thought he was kind of more fighting to the level of his competition at first. But then when you seen him against Lamont Roach, you've seen a lot of the holes in his game. He almost lost against a guy that was moving up in weight. To be fair, they were somewhat similar in size, but he was moving up in weight. He was a guy that has like a 40% knockout ratio, and he was a guy that lost to Jamel Herring like 5 fights ago. That's the guy that Gervonta Tank Davis almost lost to. So it's like debates of top 5 pound for pound. Now that's not even a discussion. Not even a discussion. Top 10 is a maybe, but it might be right now. No, he's not even there. But let me state this once again. Anyone who knows me knows I don't have any hate for any fighter. I think Tank is a tremendously talented fighter, but I have called him the most overrated fighter in all of boxing for a reason, because it's true. It just is what it is.
Important for all of my fights, these last couple of years. Rest in peace to the Victor Conti also.
Do you think AJ versus Jake will be a fixed fight? I really hope not. I don't think so. I could be wrong about that. I actually think that they're both going to try to go in there. I think AJ still has a little bit left to him. I still think that he's a big asset. Um, I think that if Jake somehow won that fight, unless he just landed the perfect shot, I think it would look really bad, and I think that it would basically kill a lot of the future Jake Paul fights. So that's just my interpretation. You never know, I suppose, but that's just my personal view of it. I think that more than likely it's going to be real, and I think AJ is going to probably put a hurting on him, but I guess you never know. They could try to fix it. I do think some of Jake's fights, maybe there's a possibility there. I'm not going to say for certain because you never know, but it's possible. Because certain fights are fixed in order to kind of have a certain outcome to boost a great, money guy. Someone they think has a good amount of promotion, but I don't think it's going to be fixed. Here's Erislandy Lara, my man. Still looks pretty good for fucking 42 years old. You can tell that he's nowhere near as quick of foot or his hand as what he used to be, but still very, very good. I don't think I would favor Lara over any current middleweight champion. But I would love to see him beat some of them because I think Lara has been one of the more underrated fighters of the past I don't know how many years, and I don't think he got quite some of the credit of what he deserved. But anyway. It's just, like I said, unfortunate that we couldn't see the Yanabek fight because that was a great, great fight.
It's quite a departure from what he was scheduled for with Janabek. A completely different style. Janabek's a tall left-hander. And look, Lara probably worked really diligently to be effective against Janabek. But now the tables have turned. He's going to fight a right-hander. He's a power puncher, Gonzalez. But, Lara is something special. He's an incredible southpaw.
Yeah, Lara's a very special tactician. He's someone overall that is extremely smart, quick of foot when he needs to be, good at maintaining distance. He's not the worst inside fighter I've ever seen, but he just doesn't prefer to fight in there. I think Yanabek more than likely would have beat him, especially if he was on PEDs, but, it's whatever. The oldest champions in boxing history. Bernard Hopkins at 49 years, 309 days. Archie Moore, 48 years, 162 days. George Foreman, 46 years, 181 days. And Erislandy Lara, 42 years, 250 days. Wow. I'm glad he at least has that stat. They said that Lara keeps getting better as he keeps getting older. I mean, I think that he's got more knockouts as of recently, but it's just not been over the greatest of competition. And I love me some Lara, man. He's my guy, but a lot of the knockouts that he's gotten over recently have been over cab drivers. There's no offense, but some of these guys are like Cornflake. Like, who the hell was that one guy named Cornflake? Like Jake LaMotta or whatever the fuck. No, it wasn't Jake LaMotta. My bad. What the fuck is his name is? Thomas LaMotta or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, but I would still love to see Lara in a big fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for our next world title attraction. Please welcome our boxers as they make their way to the ring.
Lara hasn't fought an actual good fighter since I was in high school. I would kind of agree with that. The last fighter that Lara fought that I think was like really good. Well, actually, he did fight Danny Garcia, but I mean, let's be real. Danny's not a natural 154 pounder, man. He came from 140, went to 147. I think you can argue that Danny, could be a natural 147 pounder, but he's not 154. And on top of that, Danny had seen better days anyway. So I mean, so it's whatever. But if Lara, I think, is going to be remembered as a quote unquote all-time great, he's going to have to defeat someone like a Janabek or a Carlos Adams, if not both of them. And to be honest with you, I probably would not favor him over either of those fighters. I think maybe he can beat Adams, maybe. I don't see him beating Janabek, but we'll see. But we don't even know the fucking future of Janabek anymore, so we'll see.
Please welcome the defending WBA middleweight champion of the world, Erislandy, the American Dream, Lara.
Even at the age of 42, Lara is still one of the sport's elite statistical performers. He's riding a 7-fight unbeaten streak, 4-fight knockout streak, tied for the longest streak of his career. The two-division champ became the first person to stop former two-division titleist Danny Garcia in Lara's most recent fight in September of last year. And here's a guy with his advanced age, as we talked about the school of Cuban boxing, slick technicians, movers and groovers, but Lara sitting down on his punches now and becoming a more fan-friendly fighter because of it.
Oh, my goodness. That's pretty amazing. He says that Lara averages 10 less punches, I think, than that of the average middleweight fighter, and yet he still lands 46%. Lara's accuracy has usually been absolutely off the charts. He's one of, now to be fair, like I said recently, he hasn't fought the best of competition, but it doesn't matter who he fights. He's accurate no matter who he fights. The only fighter that I've ever seen make Lara miss to the point to where he didn't have his regular stats was Canelo Alvarez. And that's because Canelo is an all-time great level fighter with excellent upper body movement. But other than that, Lara's just a sniper.
And this fight is brought to you by TGP Promotions in association with Warriors Boxing. Sponsored by Thomas J. Henry, built to win. And by DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Now, this bout is sanctioned by the WBA, the president, Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. And our judges scoring from the ringside, we have from Nevada, Robert Boyle. From Texas, Jesse Reyes. And from Panama,
I don't personally remember this guy too much, so I don't know if Lara's going to get a very quick knockout or if it's going to happen later or if we'll go to decision. Lara does seem more knockout prone lately, which is good because he used to be a guy that was pretty much known for never getting the stoppage, not because he couldn't, but just because he's a very cautious and technical fighter. But I don't know. I don't really remember how this guy fights. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the battle-ready, knockout-minded, world-ranked contender, introducing John Manotas Gonzalez. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with red trim, fighting out of Miami, Florida, by way of Guantanamo, Cuba. He weighed in at 159.6 pounds. This modern boxing great holds a record of 33 wins, 3 losses and 3 draws, with 19 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, in his 15th consecutive world title appearance, ladies and gentlemen, here is the 2-division world champion and the current reigning and defending WBA middleweight champion of the world, introducing Erislandy, the American Dream.
Lara. A fight that I actually would have really liked to see would have been Lara versus Golovkin. They would have both been older fighters and not really quite what they used to be, but Golovkin didn't want the fight. Golovkin didn't want the fight many years ago, actually. And Lara's a fighter that you don't want to really fight unless you have to, because he's not someone that's a huge draw. He's very technical and very dangerous, and that's a losable fight. All right. Touch him up. All right, let's go. Now that referee right there, and I know that this is kind of coming out of nowhere, but that referee, from what you guys just seen right there, for those of you that are actually watching this, he pointed to the middle of both belt lines, depending on where the belt line was, but he pointed to the middle of both belt lines and said anything from here up is good. Now, why am I mentioning that? The reason why I mentioned that is because there were so many videos about the Usyk and Daniel Dubois thing. So many people claiming all this shit about how Usyk got knocked out. That was a low blow. And the reason why that was a low blow is because really what you're supposed to hit, at least according to most refs, is from the upper part of the belt line and upwards. If you hit anywhere down below that, yes, it's a low blow. But anyways, let's see what Erislandy Lara does here. I like Lara realist, but GGG stops him in my opinion. At this age, it would have been interesting because Golovkin's just not as quick as what he would have been. I probably would have favored Golovkin to a slight degree, but it would have been interesting. Good left there by Lara. See, Lara is kind of doing something that Jesus Ramos was not doing. He's not moving his head to an overt, to the point to where you can time him, but he's at least moving his head off the center line to where it's harder to hit him. He also kind of already naturally has his head a little bit off the center line, which is good, but you can't just leave it there in one place the whole time, but Lara never usually does. Man, Lara just, you can tell that he just does not have the same legs as what he once did. He hasn't had the same legs for like several years, at the very least. Good body shot there by Lara, though. This guy, interestingly, it's interesting. He appears to be wanting to fight in the middle with Lara, which in my view is not advisable, but I mean, it's whatever. He's trying to do some inside work, but it's already down. That honestly looks more either like a push or not even like a legit knockdown, to be honest. But I think it still probably will count as a legit knockdown because it was a punch that did land. It didn't look like the regular knockdown, but I guess we'll see the replay on. Or wait, did he call it a slip? I guess we'll see.
The counter-punching ability of Erislandy Lara. Well, he can do anything. I mean, the school of Cuban boxing, one of the greatest schools.
Lara keeping his distance like usual, using that great jab. Moving. Excellent feet. Yeah, I think that first round is Lara's. Pretty much what we expected. I'm a little bit surprised that this guy is kind of trying to do the boxing game with Lara. I guess that's just his style. I just think it's the complete wrong way to fight him. Now let's see the replay here. Oh no, that was 100% a knockdown. Oh, that was 100% a knockdown. Oh no, that's a knockdown for sure. There's not even a debate about that. No, he landed a left. Okay. Usually I'm pretty good at seeing like what's a knockdown and what isn't, but no, that was 100% a knockdown. That was a great left.
This is Lara's second stint with legendary Cuban trainer Gonzalez. Together, they were.
All right, let's see what Lara's got this second round. Lara, like usual, keeping his distance very well. Sniper of a left hand. Good left there by Lara. Well, you know, these announcers, and listen, once again, anyone who's been watching my channel for a while knows that, you know, I love watching Lara. I think he's one of the more underrated fighters of the 21st century. But, I mean, the thing is that they keep trying to do this shit where it's very obvious. It's very fucking obvious that they keep trying to, like, promote him into something to where it's like, you know, he's this super entertaining fighter and he's changed. And, you know, I think they're doing it because because they keep trying to make the other matchups like more enticing. Like he just keeps getting better with age and he looks so amazing. And it's like they're pretty much doing this because, you know, they want to make the Adams and Yanabek fights look more enticing. But it's like anyone who really knows, it's like, you know, we don't really know how Lara's going to be against those fighters because these fighters, it's no offense, but they're garbage can fighters. It's no offense. But Thomas Lamana and some of these other guys, this dude, Yohan Gonzalez, they're just not good competition. So that's the first thing. I don't have a problem with what they're doing. Like, I understand why they're doing it. It's just, you know, any of us that pretty much knows the deal, it's like, you know, we'll see what really happens. But anyway, this guy, your boy Jay says, bro, Lara needs to give it up and join Team Chrome Dome. LOL, Jesus Christ, that shit is hard to I mean, the man's 42 years old. I'll give the man a break. You know, I do think he needs to shave it off, but hey, you know what? 42-year-old champion, I'll leave him be. This guy is just, that's so interesting. I mean, I know that he took this fight literally this week, but if you were going to fight Lara, why would you fight more on the back foot and more within the mid-range? And you don't appear to have any length. You don't appear to have any reach over him. It's just an interesting strategy. He is swinging at times, but it's just, you would think that he would get in there. But I guess everyone has their fucking style. I guess this is just his style. And this is not the type of style to beat Lara. Lara was a little bit more tentative that round. He didn't go for as much that round. Okay. We'll see what Lara can kind of pull out of his back pocket here. Yeah, this guy said the same thing. He said you gotta throw close combinations. I mean, he's throwing them at times. It's just not enough. Like you gotta do more. You gotta get in there. Lara's very lengthy. He's technical. That's the thing. It's like Lara's 42 years old, but if you fight him like this, this is not a problem for him. The way that you're going to have to beat Lara is that you're going to have to be not only technical, but you're going to have to get in there and make him uncomfortable. You're not going to beat Lara like this. This is sparring work for Lara. This is easy. All right, let's see. Man, I don't know if Lara's feet are just extremely slow compared to what they used to be, or if he just doesn't move out of range as what he once did because he's kind of having a little bit more fun with it and trying to get the knockout more. Because his feet look so fucking slow. Janabek hasn't beat anyone significant to be ranking him that high. Well, it depends on what you mean by ranking him high, brother. Like like, are you talking about? I assume you're talking about like, beating Lara maybe, or maybe you're talking about pound for pound list. I don't know. Thing is about Janabek though is that I think everyone kind of knows that about him because I don't see Janabek on any pound for pound list because he hasn't really beat anybody as of yet. Not completely his fault, but in this fight it is because he got caught on PEDs. So, who do you got, Cool Boy or Shock Foster? Man, I have not been able to study any of them, unfortunately, but with my intuition and with what I've seen, I'm going with Stephen Fulton. I think that he's the better boxer from what I've seen. To be fair, unfortunately, I've not seen much of Foster. I haven't had the time. But from what I have seen in the past, I'm going with Fulton. I'm also going with Roach as well. But those fights are the fights I think that could go either way. Yeah, I got Cool Boy too. No, I understand it. I feel you. One of my watchers apparently put 2K on Fulton to win, which is crazy. That's wild. But hey, hope you get the bet, my man. Okay, Lara's throwing a little bit more. He's still not extraordinarily offensive. Good little body shot there by Gonzalez. Nowhere near enough, but the winner faces Shakur. That is crazy. Oh, yeah, fucking, well, because, yeah, Shakur will face Tio next, I guess. And, I have Shakur in that fight, but we'll see. I like both of those fighters, actually. I love that fight. I think that's a fantastic fight. I think whoever wins that fight will be in my top 5 pound per pound, or at the very least number 6, especially if Tio wins it, because Tio's already beaten Josh Taylor, who is top 10 pound per pound, and Vasily Lomachenko. If he beats Shakur, that would be one hell of a resume for how young he is. But I think Shakur will beat him. I think he's too skilled. Oh, nice. Yeah, they're replaying that knockout of Frank Martin versus Rances or Bartholomew. That's pretty much what, for any of us that know both fighters, that's pretty much what we expected. Bartholomew has just never been that great, and I think Frank Martin has a lot of potential. I would be excited if Tio wasn't erratic. I think Tio will come up in the best possible form. I don't think he has the style to beat Shakur. Tio just does not throw enough. He's more of a, kind of pick your shots type of fighter. I think Shakur can win off of volume or off of accuracy. And I think he's going to throw more than Tio. I think he's going to be more in and outside of the range more than Tio. And I think overall that Tio is going to be probably lost for answers. That's what I personally predict. I don't see him beating Shakur. But I could be wrong. We'll see. But I think Shakur will win that fight. Yeah, so far, it's interesting. Lara's not really going after this guy. I mean, Lara's, of course, a defensive fighter somewhat, but I'm wondering why. He has been a little bit more offensive in recent fights, so I'm wondering why he's not really going after this guy. Ooh, nice left. Maybe the guy's technical approach is kind of making Lara a little bit tentative. In terms of his behavior outside the ring, he may come up with an excuse. I don't know, but let's see. I think, well, Tio's just that type of guy. Tio's a guy to where if he loses, he will make an excuse. That's just how he is. He reminds me of a lot of New Yorkers that, I knew growing up. That's how they are. And love Tio. Tio's a great fighter, but I don't see him beating Shakur. Good little right there in between the guard by Gonzalez. Interesting. Good right there by Lara. Lara looks a little bit tired here. Oh, yeah, you mean like he may not even go through with it? I doubt it. I think Tio will go through with it. I doubt it. Every time Tio has usually signed for a fight, he usually goes through with it. So I'm not gonna claim overall that he's gonna pull out because I've just never seen him do that. Tio, from what I've seen from him, he's either going to fight you or he's not going to fight you. I've seen him make excuses to not fight other guys, like Devin Haney. But from what I know, the Shakur fight is already signed. From what I know. Could he make an excuse? Maybe. Which I thought that, you might possibly be talking about that. But, yeah, I don't think he's going to pull out. I don't think so anyway. So far, this fight is not the most entertaining fight. And I mean, that's just Lara's style, but this does not look like a fighter who would be Janabek. Man. Lara's just... See, now they're trying to promote this stuff where it's like, well, Lara doesn't need to do anything extra because all this works for him. They're trying so hard, and that was a good right by Gonzalez there. They're trying so hard to, make Lara look the best possible. And don't get it twisted. I think that's a great thing. But, it's just the reason why they're basically doing this is because, once again, they're basically trying to feed a lamb for the slaughter. They're basically just trying to promote him up so they can make the big fight with Janabek or that of a Carlos Adams, and then they'll pretty much say, see ya. But, I get it.
Being smart and making him feel me, and what I want is for the fans to be the true winners of the night.
All right, well, thank you very much, Pippa. We'll let you get back.
42 is old for his style, but only power punches could still be entertaining at that age. I like Lara. I've always liked him. I just think sometimes he could put on the action a bit more. Lara actually does have some great power, though. He's not someone that, has, Golovkin type power or anything, but he does have power. I think it's just really more of his style. It's just, some people have great power, but they don't really go after it. Lara's just one of those guys because I think that he actually has A-grade level power. He could knock this guy out, but Lara's just never a guy that really presses forward. He's just defensive, and if he feels uncomfortable, he's going to wait for you to come to him, and he's going to wait to get in between those shots. That's just how he is. Looked like Lara hurt him a bit there. Lara's accuracy has been 49%, though. That's pretty amazing. I didn't even see the shot that hurt him. I'm going to take a wild guess that it was a left, though. Man, Lara looks... I just don't think it's going to last that much longer in terms of being a champion. His feet, I was kind of wondering if he was moving them in the way that he was because he kind of wants to just make this fight more entertaining. But he honestly just looks not very fast. His legs are nowhere near what they used to be. His feet are slow. And his stamina isn't even quite the same. But I mean, you're 42. It's obvious. But it's like, that's why this Janibek Lara fight, although it was a big fight, I don't think Lara would have really made the fight that competitive. Let's see. Tenka's going to fight the winner of the main event, though. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not really quite too sure about that. To be fair, I've not really paid attention to any rumblings. I don't know what the fuck Tank's going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to fight the winner because, I mean, it would logically make sense because people have kind of been asking for a rematch for both of those fighters. So maybe this was the perfect strategy also for Tank as well. So maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. I guess that would be a move that kind of makes sense, especially if you want to make it look great on the surface, because Tio and Shakur now will be at 140 now as well. Tio's, of course, has been there, but Shakur will be now there as well. So, I mean, it would make sense. Good jab there by Lara. Good left by Lara. Lara still got some good defensive maneuvers, though. He has good upper body movement. But yeah, this fight is pretty much going the way that I thought it was going to go. This guy's at least got a little bit of toughness in him. Lara's not knocking him out yet. But we'll see. Let's see that punch that hurt him. Yeah, left right through the guard. Pretty much what we all expected. Yeah, Lara's got one fucking hell of a left. I'll tell you what, that left is dangerous. I seen Canelo hurt a little bit against it, and he has one hell of a chin, and Gula got his orbital eye bone broken against it. Lara has one hell of a left. He's got underrated power. He reminds me so much of Dimitri Bivol. To the not quite as active as what Bivol is, but someone that has like legit A grade level power. He's just not going for the knockout. So like he has power, but it's like, but yeah, but man, Lara looks tired. He does look a little bit tired. I've been saying that for the past few rounds. He doesn't look dog tired, but he's breathing out of his mouth like he's breathing heavy. So I don't think the Janibek fight would have ended up well for him. I think he would have potentially even gotten stopped. Because Janibek is one of the few fighters that may actually be able to compete with Lara in the distance range and then get close and somewhat kind of get him. See, the announcers keep trying to fucking just do this stuff where they're just like, well, you can't really blame Lara for that. Listen, and once again, love Lara. He's my guy. This is not a fighter that is quote unquote great. Like, I understand why they're doing it, but let's stop trying to feed me this spoonful of bullshit. Lara could be more offensive here. He's just not doing it. It just is what it is. What's up, bro? Good to see you, G Machado. Good jab there by Lara. Still one of the best jabs in the business. Oh, man, Dantra. Lara is an all-time great. I love Lara to death, man. Lara's been one of my favorites, but I don't know if I can really claim him as an all-time great because I don't think that he's beaten anybody. I love Lara to death. I would really love to see Lara actually get a victory over a guy like Janibek. Like, I would actually love to see him unify middleweight. I don't see it happening. I just think that they're boosting up Lara because the reason why I'm saying the things that I am right now is because I remember that there was a time where they didn't really give a fuck about Lara. They were criticizing him to death about how boring he was and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And I mean, PBC kind of always like, they were for him a little bit, but it's so obvious in my view that they're just trying to fatten the lamb up for the slaughter for a Janabek or an Adams. They're trying to make it, bigger so they can do the next big star, which I don't have a problem with. It's just that's clearly what they're doing, at least just in my view. And it's like, it's just what they're saying isn't the complete truth of it. So it's whatever. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, he beat Canelo. Well, he didn't beat Canelo, but it was a close fight. If you were to debate that he beat Canelo, I would understand. But if you were to say Canelo won the fight, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. It was a close fight. And the stats are very close. Ezekiel says, I know these guys aren't the best, but Lara getting 4 stoppages in a row, 42 is pretty cool, dude. Most guys his age would be squeaking out split decisions at his age if they are still fighting. Well, and I know that I'm seeming like a pessimist here a little bit. But I'm just trying to be the most objective that I can. I think it's very awesome what Lara's been able to do at 42. I think it's pretty amazing that he's a champion. The problem is just that he just has not fought elite level competition. And when you see the guys that he's fought, they've been like legit like tomato cans. It's no offense. But Thomas Lamana, like he's not beating anyone overall that is really that great. This guy is not beating anyone that's that great. He did stop Danny Garcia, but like I said, he's not really a natural 154 pounder. And Danny was already kind of a little bit behind it anyway. But of course, positively, I mean, yeah, Lara as a champion at 42, I think is amazing. It's just a little bit unfortunate because I wish he would have got bigger fights a little bit more earlier in his career. He did get some big fights, but sometimes they came a little too late. It's whatever. But of course, I would have loved to see the Janabek fight, but it's unfortunate to see that he was caught on PEDs. I think I would love to see Lara versus Adams next. That's the fight that I would really love to see. I think Lara would stand more of a chance against Adams probably than Janabek because Adams is a little bit more slow on his feet. But that'd be an interesting fight. But from what I see here, he's just a little bit too aged, I think. But he's still doing very good here. But yeah. Literally stopped Tommy Lamana by accident. Yeah, exactly. I mean, my point exactly. Anyway. Oh shit. Yeah, see, Lara should have already knocked this guy out by now. I mean, once again, he's 42. I'll give him that, but he's just, but this is why when they were doing this stuff earlier, they're like, Lara's just completely changed, and also it was like, well, do you really know if he's changed, or is it just a level of competition? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like anyone can knock out guys like Thomas Amana. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Anyway. Good jab by Lara. Lara has one of the best jabs, though. I've always loved his jab. He has a great jab, then that little lean back and counter. That long ass reach, of course, doesn't hurt either. Great feet. Tried with a little left there, but just missed it. Lara's got a great right hook, too, at times as well. He's also got a good little uppercut on the inside. Lara's got a little bit more in his arsenal that he could use. It's just a little bit unfortunate that I think that he doesn't use it. Lara, I think, could really utilize a good right hook here as well. But he appears to be a little bit more comfortable with that one, too. Man, mega overhand right miss right there by Gonzalez. Another good round by Lara. Lara's pretty much coasting, winning pretty easily. Man said just getting warmed up. You know what that fucking reminds me of? That reminds me when Chris Algieri was facing Manny Pacquiao. It was like round 8 or round 9 or something like that. And Chris Algieri had this fucking like trainer or whatever. He was like some Buddhist or some bullshit. It was like we got Manny Pacquiao right where we want him. And then Pacquiao, and then he was like, I'm gonna let Chris Algieri out of the cage. I'm gonna let him out of the cage. Pacquiao just lands a fucking whopping left hand, knocks him on his ass, nearly knocks him out. Like whenever whenever a coach in the corner says we got him right where we want him, or like we're just getting warmed up, like that they've lost every single round. Like that's like the key indicator. Oh man, good left by Lara there. This guy's throwing more than Lara this round. It's just none of them are landing. Lara's guard is still pretty hard to penetrate. Man, I fucking Lara should just retire a champion. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing for him to do. But the thing also with Lara though is like if he is going to be remembered as an all-time great, at least potentially, or a great fighter, a truly great fighter. I mean, I think he'll always be a great fighter, but if he's going to be remembered on a great level, it would be nice to see him get a win over like a Dams or Janabek. I don't think he's going to. And I mean, Lara is a great fighter. He always has been. But if we also are going to be honest, and man, shit, I know like I know that I sound overall once again like a complete negative guy, but I mean, it's not like Lara's ever been like a Crawford or like an Usyk, you know what I mean? Like he's never been a guy overall that what happened there? Headbutt. But no, my point is that Lara, although he's very technical, I think that if he was more skilled, he probably would already knocked this guy out by now. Just my personal view of it. But it's whatever. Okay. Lara's still got good feet though. He said, nah, as long as his family loves him, leave Adams alone. I would love to see that fight, man. I like it. I think that's a doable fight for Lara. I wouldn't favor him in it, but like, oh man, another headbutt. I think that was Lara's fault right there. That kind of looked like, well, Gonzalez is kind of putting his head in there a little bit. 2 headbutts in 1 round. Ouch. I love the Adams fight, man, because that's a fight. I think I would favor Adams, but it's possible Lara could win it. I gave more of an opportunity probably than what I would against Janabek, depending on how Janabek looks after the PEDs, if the B sample does come back positive. Yeah, we'll see. O'Shaquie Foster versus Steven Fulton. It's going to be an interesting fight. That's still very interesting that Steven Fulton came in 2 pounds overweight. There was someone earlier in my comments that stated that Fulton, that he didn't appear to be taking it seriously. So instead of Fulton, they're going with Foster. Well, sometimes a fighter is overweight by 2 pounds because they're not taking a fight seriously. And then sometimes they're 2 pounds overweight because they're taking it very seriously, because it's somewhat of an advantage that they know they can take advantage of. And the other fighter then is not prepared for that, and it kind of fucks them mentally. If I had to guess, I think I would go with ladder B, but I would have to let me take a look at the weigh-in real quick. Let me see if he looks extra flabby or anything. I don't think I've seen anything. Gonzalez looks like he steals Cadillac converters. No fucking way you said that, dude. Come on. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Fulton versus Foster. Let me take a look at this weigh-in. Man, Fulton looks a lot bigger than what I remember him. I thought Foster was going to be like clearly bigger. They're like the same fucking size. Wow. Yeah, I have to go with Fulton now. Let me take a look at the weigh-in though. I mean, he doesn't look like ripped, but to be fair, I don't know if Fulton's ever really looked like that. He still looks in pretty good condition. Let me compare it to past photos. Fulton versus, let's take a look at like his fight versus Inoue, which would be kind of hard to compare because Fulton could have made weight. He strategically didn't. That's what I thought as well. That's the same thing that I thought. Weigh in. Yeah, because even at the Inoue, and I mean, like he has more abs than that, but like it's not super pronounced. And like he was in great condition for that fight, I think. So I'm still going with Fulton, but I mean, we'll see. I think he missed it on purpose. I mean, you can not be disciplined and still like miss it on purpose. You know what I mean? But you guys know what I mean. He missed it on purpose for strategic reasons, in my view. But we'll see. Good left there by Lara. Good little 1-2. Yeah, you can tell Lara's tired here. Lara in the past has kind of shown that he can tire out in the second half of fights. Like we've seen it against Hurd and a little bit against Canelo, but I think that his stamina very clearly is worse for wear here than what it was, which obviously is 42. But that's why I'm just saying this narrative of Lara just keeps getting better with age. I mean, it's clear that he's definitely lost about a level and a half, but it's, you know, it's whatever. But he's still a very good fighter. I think, let's see. I think he knew if he beat Foster, he gets Shakur, so he said F the belt. That's kind of interesting. I didn't yeah, I guess if Shakur keeps his titles that I see, but I don't know the current title picture. That's what I'll have to take a look at because I know that Shakur is going to fight Tio next, and the fight is happening at 135. So maybe if Shakur stays there, but if it's at 140, how would the winner of that fight get the Shakur fight? That's a little bit. That's kind of what I would wonder. But maybe there's something that I haven't seen. By the way, Lara's pretty much completely dominating this fight. Mexicans booing Erislandy Lara. Pretty much the same shit that's been happening for the past I don't know how many years. Lara is not the same, but that's expected at 42 years of age. Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. Yeah, but I just wanted to state that it's obvious to most, but you know the announcers they keep trying to make this stuff about Lara looks better than ever. It's clear that he's lost about a level, but it's whatever. He still looks like a great fighter, just definitely not the same as what he once was. About to see the 10th round for the first time in 5 years. That's actually crazy. I didn't know that. What? How long has his knockout streak been? For him not to see 10 rounds in 5 years? Because I thought he was on like a 4 knockout streak. Let me take a look. Hold on. Erislandy Lara. Let's see. Yeah, he's only got. That's what I thought. Okay. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. I thought so. He only fought one time in 21, one time in 22, 2 times in 24, but not at all in 2023. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. But maybe being a little bit more inactive has actually helped him a little bit. Sometimes activity helps you, but if you're older, sometimes inactivity can also help you because then you're not putting as much strain on your body. Seemed to actually work for Terrence Crawford in the Canelo fight.
you expect to see the rest of the night? I mean, look, when you've got an inferior opponent in there, a guy who took advantage of an opportunity, and he's done nothing for a long time, and you get this type of feedback from the crowd, it is time to sit down with those shots. It is time to see if you can get him out of there and close the show to make.
Someone posted a link in the comment section. I'm gonna ban that user. The reason why is because oftentimes, more than fucking not, that shit's a scam, and I don't want anyone getting any any viruses or anything like that. Anyway, or getting scammed out of shit. Fucking shit is so annoying. Good job by Lara. Yeah, pretty much a basic Lara performance here. Not super impressive. Pretty much what I expected to see from him. I did think that he probably was going to get the stoppage eventually. But to be fair, I didn't see much of this guy. Let's see. I think Shakur still keeps his belts at 135 if he fights Tio. The winner is going to be the mandatory for his belts, but it's still confusing. I guess, yeah, see, I did not remember who all was at 135 a champion anymore because there's been so much fucking mix-up. Like, you had Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes fighting, and then, like, there were so many vacancies. I didn't even know who the fuck was still a champion there. But the other question is like, will Shakur stay at 135, though? Like, because I just wouldn't personally see Shakur really wasting time to, like, go back down to 135 to really fight Fulton. But, I mean, I could be wrong about that. I don't know. But we'll see. It would just be really odd in my view. But I could be wrong. Maybe there's been conversations about it. It seems a little bit out of left field. Oh, Shakur said he's staying at 135. Really? We'll see. We'll see. I don't know though, because it's like, he says that now, but he said that's his division. That's possible. What I'll also say is this though. I can't remember if you were the one that said that Tank was going to fight the winner of Roach versus Cruz. If Tank actually does go up there and fight the winner of that, wouldn't there be a huge possibility that Shakur does stay at 140? I don't know. It's possible. So I don't know exactly what he's going to do. And even if he does stay at 135, I don't know if he would mainly prefer to fight Fulton or Foster, but I guess we'll see. If I had to guess, he probably would fight someone like Abdullah Mason, but oh, nice right by Lara. Good left by Lara. And then that guy throws that wing and fucking slow ass right. Oh my god. It's like, I know why he's throwing it, but it's just, there's no way you're going to land that from left field, dude. It's not going to happen. Like, you have to try to set it up. Good body shot by Lara. Oh, nice left by Lara. Shit, you know what I also forgot about? Fucking speaking of Abner Mares, I forgot that Gervonta Tank Davis and Abner Mares are supposed to fight at one time. I think Gervonta would have completely knocked him out, but it would have been interesting to see. But then I think Abner had to pull out because of some eye injury, and I don't think I've seen Abner Mares ever since then. Good left there by Lara. Tank is never going to fight Shakur. I mean, that's what I would predict as well. But sometimes fighters do certain things because of what it looks like on the surface. And if Shakur possibly believes he could get a Tank fight, there might be a possibility that he stays there. We'll see, though. I trust you, my man. I trust you. It's just there's so many factors. Unless he gets 100 mil. I mean, yeah, that could be very possible. But, hey, that's what the Tio fight is for, right? The Tio fight is to, Tank and his team claim that Shakur needs more marketability. That's what that fight is for, right? I mean, that definitely would make the fight more worth it. So we'll see. I don't know, man. I don't, to me, it's like there's so much going on to just 100% confirm what Shakur is going to do. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research and see what I think the more likely option for him would be. Oh, there's Rolly Romero. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see who Rolly fights next. I can't believe he's a fucking welterweight champion. That's insane. Not because he beat Ryan Garcia. That's not something that I think was absolutely crazy, but it's just wow. The fact that Rolly was ever a fucking it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy how a top 10 pound for pound fighter needs more marketability. I mean, a lot of fighters use that for a fucking excuse. And I think Tank, what I'll state is this. Like, I understand where Tank is coming from. I think that, like, I understand for the big fight that it could be. But the problem with Tank is that he's not fucking fighting anybody. Like, if you were to make that excuse with just Shakur or maybe a couple of other fighters, like, I understand. But he just does it with everybody. Like, there's not, besides Frank Martin, who's never even been a champion, by the way, like, there's not one fucking big A-grade fighter he's ever fought. He didn't really fight Lomachenko. I do understand that, there was a couple of turndowns by Loma, but, that was kind of when Loma was not quite the same anymore. When Loma was looked at as number one pound for pound, he wanted nothing to do with him. So, I mean, it is what it is. He hasn't really called out Tio. He talks shit about Josh Taylor, but never fought him. He talks shit about all these other guys, Devin Haney. He never fought fucking one of them. So, I mean, it's whatever. King Golden says, who wins, Shakur or Tio? I think Shakur does. I just think he's going to be too active. I think he's going to have too much volume, too slippery, too hard to hit, too active within the fight. And Tio just does not have the best of defenses, in my view. He does not fight the best on the front foot. He's someone that does not change levels extraordinarily well, nor does he move his head up the center line extremely well. He's someone that is a little bit more of a pick your shots type of guy. And I don't think that's the type of style to beat Shakur. But we'll see. We'll see. But that's what I would predict. Rolly just dug Devin earlier too. I mean, I believe that. I think Devin would completely whoop his ass. We'll see on that. But Devin wants to fight Shakur as well, but he's not going to get that fight anytime soon. I'll tell you this, though, actually. The one fight that Devin did not seem super excited to fight was Shakur. That is the only fight that I've seen Devin kind of make it hard. Devin is usually about all the smoke for everybody, no matter where it is. But for Shakur, he said if he wants to fight me, it's going to be 90-10, which is pretty crazy. Like, I know that you were the A side, but 90-10 is pretty fucking crazy. So that was the only fight where Devin actually was not super motivated. And I think because Shakur gave him a lot of problems in the past, but, it's whatever. I agree, but it should be a good fight. I think it's a good matchup. I don't think it's going to be great I don't think it's going to be a great fight, though. I think Shakur is going to make it look relatively easy. Could be wrong, but I think Shakur beats him. And other than punching power, I think that he beats Tio and literally everything else. Oh, Lara hurt him a bit. Oh, he knocked him down. I think he's going to get back up, though. This was the time that you saved for the knockdown? I know that, and I know that Laura's good. Listen, man, you're 42 years old. You're a champion. That's awesome. But against this guy, like, you're supposed to knock this guy out. I know you're 42. But the thing is that this guy was literally just a good left there, though. But hey, like I said, the man's old. I'll give him a break. And I love Lara, man. Lara's been one of my favorites to watch for a while. Good left, though, man. That left is wicked. Before the Norman fight, they wanted Shakur, but after the Norman fight, they called out the winner, Shakur versus Tio. That's a great fight nonetheless. All right, up next is when we get the real big fights. The next two fights are going to be very exciting. I think that's it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I'm pretty excited for those. But yeah, for those of you that might just be tuning in, I got Fulton and I also got Roach. Oh my goodness. He talked about some sort of controversy right there. If I had to assume, he was probably talking about the Paul Williams fight. Yeah. Good job there, Sonny Lara. Wasn't a great performance, you know, but it was, he was still very technical in the fight. Like I said, I give him a lot of credit. 42 years old. It's just when we talk about him legitly being a true contender against guys like Adams and Janabek and even a Sergio Ramos. Oh my God, did I just say Sergio Ramos? Jesus Ramos. Jesus Christ. Jesus Ramos. I don't see him beating any of those guys, just in my view. But we'll see. I got Foster over Cool Boy. I have Cool Boy, but I mean, like I said, unfortunately, I just wasn't able to fucking do any research this week, man. So it could very well be Foster, man. I have Fulton because I think he's the more sharpened of the two fighters. But Fulton also is not known for a lot of power. He's also never fought at this weight before, and they're fighting even heavier than what they originally were supposed to. So interesting. So we'll see. There's Shane Mosley. Excuse me, Shane Mosley. Mario Barrios. People asking for Mario Barrios' fucking autograph. Mario Barrios could offer me a fucking autograph, and I'd be like, "Nah, brother, I'm good." I would rather take Rolly Romero's autograph than fucking Mario Barrios'. Get the fuck out of here. A lot of people got shocked over Fulton. They sleep in Cool Boy, especially after the Inoue fight. If Fulton ends up winning this fight, especially in dominant fashion, the victory that Inoue got over him, I think, is going to look even greater. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But Foster's not a weak fighter. Inoue has been kind of looked at as someone, including by me, as someone that doesn't always have the greatest level of competition, but that Fulton win still is stuck out. But if he wins tonight, especially over another Black American fighter that's looked at as very athletic and talented, I think Inoue's stock is actually going to rise even higher. A lot of people have slept on Fulton after that because he got completely outboxed and dominated in every fashion. And you got to give Inoue a lot of credit for that, man. You got to get that. Inoue is such a phenomenal fighter, and he pretty much can almost fight in any way that you really want him to. He's very special. Cool Boy, he didn't look confident, and he missed weight. To be fair, man, you could absolutely be right. You could be 100% correct. I have not been able to look at any fucking factors. But yeah, no more stealing catalog converters. Hopefully, yo, that's wild. Yo. That does kill a lot of the fight, though. That it's not for a title anymore. That just sucks. But yeah. No, that victory over Fulton already aging great. Cool Boy's a great fighter, legitimately. No, he's a great fighter for sure. But if he wins this fight, it's going to age even greater. It's going to go up to a whole nother level. Because even though he won't be a legitimate three-weight division champion after this, people will look at him like that. And, God, Brandon Figueroa is fucking huge for that weight class. Jesus Christ. And on top of that, Fulton has wins like over Brandon Figueroa. He has wins over he would have wins over Foster, of course, obviously if he wins this. And then there's that one Mexican cat that he beat. Who the fuck is that one dude? Why can I never remember that dude's fucking name, man? Fuck. Don't let Doncha hear you about the Fulton Inoue fight. Nah, man. You can't let him hear you about anything that you say that's critical about any like black fighter whatsoever. Doncha, it's like a radar. He just comes in here. He's just like, "What'd you say?" Like he's like, "What are you talking about?"
We'll see how that turns out because it's hard to call right now. Fulton's such a great established fighter.
You know what? This is bothering me. What the fuck? I can never remember this dude's name. I want Inoue to fight this dude, by the way, so bad because he's a champion now at 126, and he used to be a champion at 122. His only loss is to Fulton. I can never remember this fucking guy's name, but I think he's very good and also very entertaining. And I think Inoue moving up to 126 is the right move very soon. I think you fight Junta Nakatani, and then after that, I think you finally move up to 126 because there's just nothing left for you there unless you fight Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. But Bam Bam doesn't sound super enthusiastic to take the fight right now. Every time the fight is mentioned, he says, "Yeah, here in a few years." So I think you let that fight build a little bit. You take your time at 126. There's a lot of great competition there. Take out some of those boys, even some of the greater contenders. Like even if he defeats Brandon Figueroa and Robecio Ramirez, those are like two legitimate A-grade level wins. Do you think Inoue stops Picasso? To be fair, man, I don't know shit about Picasso yet. I've not done much research for that. But if I had to guess, yeah. From what I know about Picasso, he seems okay, but he doesn't seem like great. You know what I mean? I think the only reason why Inoue didn't stop Ahmed Aliyev is because, he knew that he was a very talented fighter and also kind of slippery, has power. That was a fight that Inoue knew, like, I have to be careful in this fight. I know that I can beat him, but if I go for the knockout, I could end up being in trouble. So I think Inoue could have actually even did more in that fight. He just decided to kind of coast a little bit more in that fight, and he still easily won every round. I think he will stop Picasso. But yeah, I think he will stop Picasso from what I've seen, but we'll see. Do you think Inoue stops Bam? It's a little bit too early to tell. I think if he were to just move up right now, I don't know 100% if he would stop Bam or not, but I do think that he would beat him. I don't think that fight's going to happen right now anyway. So I think that Bam is going to try to move up the weight divisions gradually, which of course he would be smart to. And I think that eventually he's going to try to do it. I don't think he's going to try to do like a Crawford or something like that and move up like 2 weight classes and, try to fight him more what Canelo did with Kovalev. I think that he's going to move up gradually, and you'd be smart to do that. Because in a way, it's not someone that you want to really do that with. But yeah. Let me fucking. What the hell is this guy's name, man? Hold on. Who the fuck is that fighter that I'm thinking of? He's a Mexican dude. There we go. Angelo Leo. I can never remember this motherfucker's name. Angelo Leo. That dude, he can fight. He's a real good fighter. He's not quite as good as Inoue or Fulton, but he can fight. He has power. He's a little bit refurbished at 126. He's a legit champion in 2 weight classes and a fighter. I'd love to see him. Bam is with the snack program. I agree. Any fighter that is with the snack program, I've already stated in my view, is immediately suspicious. That includes fighters like Bam, Virgil Ortiz, Andrade, Caleb Plant, Crawford, Shakur, Haney, any of them. I've already stated that. There's been criticisms of Inoue possibly taking steroids, especially in Japan as well, but there's not a lot of evidence of that. Like I said, would I be surprised? No, because I think there's a lot of fighters that take steroids that it isn't revealed. But, I would definitely be a lot more suspicious of the snack program than what I would be of Inoue, just in my view. But yeah. Yeah, Tiffany Cook. There you go. Angelo Leo. Yeah, I always forget that dude's name, but he can fight. Inoue versus Moulton. Who's Moulton, actually? I'm not familiar with that guy, I believe. I don't think I know Moulton. From Houston, eh? So we got Houston versus Philadelphia. Interesting. Angelo Leo. Thank you, Tiffany. Oh, Kermel Moten. I completely forgot about him. I completely forgot about Kermel Moten. He was completely erased off my mind. That'd be interesting. I think Moten's a bit too big though. 135 would be really pushing it for Inoue, man. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the highest that he'd ever absolutely be able to go to is 130, and that's even pushing it because he's not even as big as 126, and it's like really not even close. Like he's not really even close to a natural 126 pounder. So I don't think he's going to be able to go to 135. The only way that happens, I think, because Inoue has already stated multiple times that that he thinks it's too far to go up there. I would not really assume that Inoue is going to do that unless he just completely wipes through 126 and is like, these guys are pussies. Like I just ran through everybody. That's the only way that I really see Inoue, like, actually doing it. But yeah. I sense that Inoue starting to slow down due to all those 4 fights every year. Um, I mean, we'll see. It depends on if you're coming from the perspective of will he start to slow down or if he already is. I've not really seen any major signs of Inoue slowing down. I just think that his past couple of fights, for example, like against Cardenas, I just think he fought a fighter that was like a legit 126 pounder and surprised him a little bit, and also was a fighter that was that on short notice? I can't remember. But he was a little bit surprised, and it was a big guy, a guy who had power. So there was that. And then against MJ, he was just fighting an Olympian level fighter that was an A grade level fighter that had power and also great skill and has a not good style. So I don't think Inoue's actually slowing down that much. I just think that his last 2 fights were not going to be looking the best in terms of showcase fights. But anyway, let's see. When do you think Inoue versus Nakatani is going to happen? I think it's going to happen right after the Picasso fight. Everything leads to that. It would make sense. And both Nakatani and Inoue seem right on board with it. That's what I would predict. I've not seen anything that would hold that fight back unless one of them lose. So that's what I would predict. That's going to be an interesting fight, though. And I will tell you, that's not a confirmed win for Inoue. Nakatani can jab. He can fight. He's lengthy. He might even be a little bit bigger than Inoue, to be honest with you. But anyway, let's see. King Golden says, he is heavier. Huh? Damn, that sucks. That would be a good fight. He's just too heavy. If he's at 135, is too much. Inoue's not. It would literally be fighting like 4 weight classes out of his element. It wouldn't happen in my view. Jaime Raiden says that fight is oh shit, no. I'm gonna skip the comment, my bad. GGG used to be with Snack too. Well, I've already told people this. Anyone who's with the Snack program, in my view, is immediately suspicious. Anybody. Oh shit, Danny Garcia is in Stephen Fulton's corner. Look at that. I've already told people that. Anyone who's with the Snack program, another fighter who was with them was Nonito Donaire. I think it kind of started with him. Any fighter who's with Snack, in my view, is immediately suspicious. You work with Victor Conti. Yes, it's suspicious. Let's see. I think the fight is planned for May of next year, provided they win. May would be really late. But I mean, since it's a bigger fight, maybe they want more time to prepare, so it could happen. So I wouldn't be surprised. Mike Rodriguez says, I got Inoue stopping Nakatani, but Nakatani is a beast and has power as well. I mean, just on the surface, my gut feeling tells me Inoue, but but my gut also tells me that Nakatani is going to be quite the challenge. So we'll see. I need to do the most amount of research for that fight. I've already watched enough of Inoue, but I really need to watch Nakatani, and then I'll be able to kind of decide, for myself and see what's going to happen there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But that's a great fight. That's going to be a humongous fight. But yeah. Danny Garcia. Stephen Fulton coming in with the cornrows, I suppose. Well, let's see. Let's see overall if Fulton, if he's not as prepared tonight because he became overweight, or if there was a little bit of strategy behind it. I personally think there was strategy behind it. That's my view, but we'll see. He looks ready in my view, but we'll see. I also have not seen a lot of Foster. I know he has 2 losses, but he definitely has improved as a fighter. I also think one of those losses, a lot of people thought that he really didn't lose. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember. I think one of his losses was to Robson Conceição, wasn't it? And then he avenged it. I want to see the size difference as well.
Two-time super featherweight champion. Again, was scheduled to defend that title tonight, but the scale failed by Fulton. Means it's now a 125.
The scale failed. My scale didn't fucking fail. Fulton came in 2 pounds overweight. If you come in 2 pounds overweight, you didn't even try to make the fucking weight. Like, it just is what it is. I mean, obviously, I know what he was trying to say there, but Jesus Christ, 2 pounds? Like, Fulton does look quite a bit smaller. Like, he looks at least 10 pounds smaller. This is going to be interesting. Both look pretty sharp so far. Fulton looks a little tentative to get on the inside, as I would be as well. Foster looks like he's kind of waiting to get him with a little bit of a counter. Maybe get a good little left hook in there. Fulton being a little bit more active, but he's got to change. He's got to move his head off the center line a little bit more. He's keeping that head on the center line a little bit too much. To be fair, though, Foster's not really moving his head off the center line very well either. Neither of them really are. So far, this is a good little chess match right now. It's a good little technical fight. Both have, I mean, Fulton definitely has the wider stance of the two, but sometimes Foster has a little bit of a wider stance as well. Fulton said that the in-away loss changed him, that he saw people who turned his back. Yeah, that's what happens when you lose. All of a sudden, those people that you thought were for you, your friends, they ain't around anymore. That's life, man. It sucks, but that's why it's kind of a gift overall to see that, because you get to see the people that are really for you and really aren't. Well, let's see this guy. I thought Shu would have been able to give In-away a good fight, but Shu kind of looked weak his last fight. He should have took the dude out way sooner. I agree with that, but I still think he has a lot of potential. He doesn't look like he's living up to expectations as much as what we once thought. But I still think that's a great fight. I still think it's an A-grade level fight for In-away. Good little left there by Fulton. I would actually love to see Carrington versus Fulton or someone like that. But I don't think we're going to see that, obviously, because Fulton's not even there anymore. But I'm not really quite sure who's winning this round. It's kind of win either way. I've seen Fulton land a good little right, I think, but okay. Fulton moving his head off the center line a little bit more. That's good. But I think he's got to be a little bit more aggressive. He's kind of intimidated by Foster's size and reach, I think. He looks a little bit tentative to get on the inside. And Foster's been a little bit too reactive as well. He's also got to start to gain his offense a little bit more. Winning fights so many of the times can be who's oftentimes throwing more and who's willing to more create their own offense. Now, that's the first round, so obviously that's not the first thing you mainly worry about because, you're kind of feeling each other out. You want to see several steps ahead and see what they're doing. But, they need to be careful that this doesn't last throughout the whole entire fight. One of these guys is going to have to take charge. So we'll see. I'm not quite sure who won that first round. Oh, there's Duran Bucenis. Look at that. Heard that there's a possibility of an Ennis versus Ortiz fight. That's a hell of a fight right there. All right, first round kind of up for grabs. Sound like they almost wanted to give it to Foster, but we'll see. Fulton needs to go to that stab and jab to the body a little bit more. He's going up to the head, I think, a little bit too often so far in this fight. Nice try by Foster with the right. Fulton looks tentative. He looks very tentative because of his reach and his size. What's up, buddy? What's up, man? It's always good to see y'all tune in. Fulton looks very tentative. And this is the first time I've really seen him back up this much in a very, very long time. This is giving me a lot of reminiscence of the Inoue fight where he didn't have as many answers. And this is why I say that Fulton's going to need to take charge in this fight whether he likes to or not. Because he cannot win this fight just by being completely reactive. He's smaller, and he does not have the level of power to do that. I don't like the way I don't like Fulton's right hand. He looks like he is struggling for answers, and like he's winging it to get on the inside. Yeah, they say that Fulton apparently has been working on who do I got on Pitt? If you're talking about Pitbull Cruz, I got Lamont Roach. For this fight, personally, my boy, I predicted Fulton, but unfortunately, I just wasn't able to do a whole lot of research. So I don't know how accurate my predictions are going to be, but we'll see. This fight especially is very hard. Foster looks like the completely more comfortable fighter in there. He's throwing more. Fulton, with a lot of the punches that he's throwing, he's trying to land this overhand right because you can tell that overall that he's really just intimidated by that reach. He's afraid of getting hit with something. I don't see any signs of him being slow or lethargic. So I don't think that the weight has impacted him really. But it is an interesting strategy if he did it on purpose, which I assume that he did. Because Foster is the naturally bigger guy. So you would think that if they're going up to a higher weight class, that wouldn't it possibly benefit Foster? I mean, maybe not because Foster already made weight, but like I don't know. It just seems like it would benefit Foster a little bit more, but I don't know, maybe not. Oh, that looks like Bozy Ennis in the corner. Yeah, he said you got to start throwing. You got to start throwing a jab. I agree. He's got to mix up his jab. He's got a double jab. Stab that jab to the body. He's headhunting a little bit too much, too. He's not really going to the body. And that's going to be a huge problem. I think Foster won that round. I didn't see Fulton really land anything. And he could very possibly be down 2-0 right now. There's Gary Russell Jr. Is he from Philly? I'm guessing that he is. Gary Russell's another fighter that kind of wasted his fucking career, unfortunately. Okay, there we go. Fulton tried to he took Gary Russell's advice very seriously there. See, the problem is with Fulton. This is Fulton. One thing I'll say about him is this: he does not have bad head movement, but it's not phenomenal either. And when you see like the exchanging of the jabs, if you move your head straight forward and straight back, it's okay to a degree. But if you do it the whole time, or even 75% of it, you're going to get caught consistently with that jab, especially against someone who's lengthier than you, because they already know where your head's moving. You're just moving straight back. So all they have to do is, be somewhat within the range and push you back enough, and they're going to hit you with that jab. You have to move your head off the center line. And I have not seen enough of that from Fulton yet. That being stated, this round is very close. He keeps showing that right, but and I understand he's not committing fully to it because I think he wants to He's kind of waiting for Foster to overextend. You got to throw to the body, though, man. Like, he keeps just going to the head. And to be fair, Foster's not really going to the body much either. But Fulton's a smaller guy. It's going to be more important for him to mix it up and be first. I do think Fulton's winning this round, though. I definitely don't think he won the second. The first is up for grabs. The third round, I do think so far Fulton's winning. Good jab there by Foster, though. Yeah, you can tell that Foster is trying to land that left here and there. It's just, it hasn't opened up yet. Good jab there by Fulton, finally to the body. Yeah, he definitely is overreaching on a lot of shots. And Fulton has always actually kind of had a problem with that a little bit, especially with his right hand. And he cannot afford to make that here. Good jab, though. All right, good little movement there by Fulton. Foster does look in control of this fight. I think that Fulton has won the third round because I think he landed and threw more. But Foster's energy he looks like he's in control of this fight. He looks like he's in control of the tempo. Yeah. Foster's coach gave him good advice. He said, get off a little bit more punches. And he said that he's very flat at times. Pretty good and calm advice. I think both coaches are giving pretty good advice, actually. The question is just who's winning this right now. It looks like Foster would probably be winning it, but it's very close because no one's really taking a major lead. But Foster looks more in control of the fight, which probably will give the judges some slight favoritism to Foster. Interesting. Foster switched to southpaw. Interesting. Let's see what happens. Ooh, good right by Fulton. Okay, Fulton looks like he's trying to stay in the pocket a little bit more. Good left by Foster, though. This is a great tactical match so far. I'm pretty impressed with Foster so far, I must admit. I did not think he was this technically sound from what I had seen of him in the past. Good block there by Fulton. That's interesting. Fulton seems to be walking him down a little bit more this round. Could work. Good block there by Fulton. But Foster's kind of getting off a little bit more right now. Fulton just hasn't found a whole lot of answers. Oh, good right hand by Fulton. Yeah, Foster's boxing pretty nicely. He's not really landing anything flush, but I mean, he's just good left there. That rocked Fulton a little bit. Just from what I'm seeing, I don't think that Fulton's going to be able to find a whole lot of answers here. Yeah, Fulton can't close the gap at all. He's overreaching a lot. Wow. Yeah, Foster, I think, is definitely taking this round. He's very slick. And on top of that, he's moving his head off the center line, I think, a little bit more. He's also just bigger and lengthier. And Fulton's just having a real hard time with it. He's not going to the body consistently. He is not really doubling or tripling up his jab very much. And also, to be honest with you, I think his head movement is kind of getting a little bit exposed here. He's a little bit stiff compared to Foster. Yeah, I think Oshaki Foster's winning this fight so far. If it's either 2 rounds to 2 or 3 rounds to 1, I think, for Foster right now. There's Lamont Roach. Isaac Cruz. Cruz is not someone, in my view, that is the most multidimensional. I don't find him to be the most skilled fighter, but he's very good defensively when he needs to be. He's also very short and compact, very powerful, and he puts his all into every single round. And if you stay up against the ropes for too long, then that could give him the opportunity to possibly win the fight because that's what he likes. So Lamont needs to be consistent. He needs to throw as well as be accurate, but make sure that you stay busy and make sure that you stay first. All right, let's see if Fulton has any answers here. Fulton's trying, but it doesn't look like he really has anything. He's trying with the left, but it's just not within range. Good right by Fulton. See, Fulton also has another big issue. And I'm starting to realize this. He does this overhand right, and it's a reaching right. And it works against fighters that it works against fighters that you're just as big against or are probably even more lengthy than. But when you're fighting a technical fighter that's about as technical as you, and on top of that, even lengthier than you, that's just not going to work because that right hand's not going to reach. And then when you duck down, if they tie you up, then you're not going to be able to get any offense off. I don't like Bozie's instructions. I didn't hear what he said, in all honesty. It looks like I'm going to lose the $2,000 I bet on Fulton. Yeah, man, that's why I'm not a betting man, personally. Let's see. Yeah, but Fulton just has no answers. He has no way to get inside. No way. There's just nothing for him. There might be certain people that would talk about a future fight between Foster and Inoue, which would be an interesting fight, but I think that might be a jump up a little bit too far for Inoue. I think Foster looks around a natural 130 pounder. I just think Inoue's too small for that. Inoue's not even as big as Fulton, and this guy looks huge against Fulton. Good right hand against Fulton. Just can't get in there though. He has a very wide stance, which has always been a little bit of a problem. Timothy Bradley has kind of stated that as well. It affects his movement and how quick he can get in and outside of the range compared to other fighters. Yeah, I wasn't impressed by Foster's previous performances either. Unfortunately, like I stated, what I like to do for my usual predictions, I like to kind of all week look at certain fights and analyze. I could not do that. I really only watched highlights months ago for Foster. And I've seen his fights against Gonzalez. I wasn't really that impressed. But I got to give him a lot of credit here. He looks really sharp here. He looks really good. He's not just bigger than Fulton. He's also outboxing him. Yeah, this is Foster's fight so far. I think it's clear. I think at most maybe you can debate that Fulton's won 2 rounds. And even that's being a little bit generous. Yeah, see, Fulton is not very good at moving his head off the center line. I would not be surprised if Fulton gets knocked out in this fight. Not because it's like this major ass whooping, but you can just tell if that left hand lands, like it's gonna fucking hurt. Like I've seen Foster land that good left hand. I hope they rob Foster so I can at least save my wager. Oh, fucking Christ. Great performance by Foster, though, so far. I mean, great performance. I don't even remember who else is a champion in 130 because I just have not looked at so many of the championship rankings yet. Is Emmanuel Navarrete still there? I think he's still there. There's another fighter that's there as well, I think, but I don't remember who. Oh, both landed a good left there. That's interesting that Foster has now stayed in southpaw. He must be a natural southpaw because he looks more comfortable here, and he's stayed there. That's just very interesting that he would start off right-handed, especially in such a big fight. It's interesting. Fulton is under the PBC protection program. A robbery is possible. It is possible, but I mean, Foster might be as well. To be fair, though, I don't know much about Foster's history, though. I just don't think there's a way that you can really get this to Fulton right now, though. I just don't think it's that close. Fulton's just not able to land shit. It's like, you know. Good left by Foster. Fulton's just, he's not doing anything enough to, he's gonna, like I said, he's gonna have to take charge, and he's not doing it. And I think he knows that if he's gonna do that, that eventually he's gonna get hit with something. And it's just clear that he has no answers. He cannot really get in there with the jab. His head movement is not as good. His feet are not as good, to be honest with you. And it's showing. The Foster that I remembered from about a year or two ago was a lot more hittable. But like I stated, I just had not really watched much on him. So either A, he improved quite a bit, or B, I just did not watch enough on him. But either way, good job on Foster. I mean, I'm not going to say it's a flawless performance, but he's clearly winning. Great jab. Moving his head off the center line. Good left. No, he can't close the distance at all. You know, one thing I've noticed about Fulton is that when he's starting to run out of answers, he has a real hard time adjusting and kind of risking it to get the biscuit, if you know what I mean. Foster did dominate Ray Vargas, though. Ray Vargas is like, I mean, he is pretty good, but he also was a major weight bully, so it was kind of hard for me to determine how good he was. But that is a pretty good win. I'll give him that. But yeah, I'll give him that. But he did lose, I believe, a fight to Robson Conceição, didn't he? Of course, Conceição is not a slouch. Of course, I think a lot of people thought that fight was a robbery, but to be fair, I never seen it myself. Yeah, he's doing good, though. Yeah, that's why this fight was a little bit hard for me to predict. I did go with Fulton just because I thought he was going to be a little bit too slick, and I thought that Foster was going to be a little bit too hittable, but let me give this man a lot of credit. He's a lot better than what I remember. Yeah, Bozianis told Fulton that you got to push him back. I agree, you have to, but certain fighters, when they're just in there, especially when they're technical fighters, they don't know how to do that at times. Let's go Foster. Now, Foster's looking pretty good. I'm not going to say it's like a Floyd Mayweather performance or anything, but like he looks good. He's clearly winning the fight. Foster's getting a little bit more aggressive. He's starting to stay in the pocket a little bit more, and he's starting to try to hurt. Oh, good left. Foster's starting to lose a little bit of respect for Fulton's ability, I think, here. He's getting in there. He's pressuring. Before he was kind of moving a little bit more in and out. Now he's kind of staying in there a bit more. And Fulton's just not taking advantage at all. Well, you know, they stated that Foster 130 is too big for Fulton. I think that's a part of it. I also just think Foster's a better boxer, to be honest with you. I think there's just certain things that taking a look at him in the ring that, you know, especially now taking a look at Fulton when he's finally facing a boxer that can really box other than Inoue, there's just clear holes that he has. Like, he has too wide of a stance. He does not move his head off the center line as well as what he needs to. He does not really double up his jab. He's someone that has certain faults. Yeah, it was a 50-50 fight on paper. Either or, whoever you went with, I would have not blamed you. Yeah, you have to give Foster a lot of credit for this fight, I think. See, but you know, this is hold on, I gotta sit up here. Do you like Foster's chances against Shakur? Not at all. No. No, I don't. No. Shakur is one of those fighters that you have to be literally Floyd Mayweather, Usyk, Crawford levels, you know, Pacquiao levels to like beat him. You have to be like that guy. If you're not that guy, I don't think you beat him. Just my view of it. Yeah, controversial loss. I assume that, yeah, you're talking about the Kinsey style loss. Yeah, I heard it was competitive, but also controversial. I'd have to see it. What was the question someone just asked? Do you think? Yeah, no, I don't think he beat Shakur. No. A great fight would be Foster versus Abdullah Mason, to be honest with you. Foster looks great in this fight, I think. It's not you know, he doesn't look like Muhammad Ali in there, but it's like, you know, he looks very good. He looks really good. I like the coach's advice to him as well. To be honest, I'd have to listen to Bozy Ennis a little bit more, but I don't think the advice that he's given Fulton is necessarily all bad either. I just think that Fulton's not really following it. Foster looks like he's having fun. Cameron, that's crazy that he's there. The unofficial scorecard, Larry Hazard scorecard, they have Fulton winning no rounds. I think that Fulton won one round at least, maybe two. I don't think he's won any more than that. Foster very clearly, I mean, he's at minimum won 5, but you can debate that he's won 6. And if you wanted to debate that he won 7, I mean, I could see that too. Fulton is being somewhat defensively responsible. He's just offensively wise. He don't have anything with this dude. The reach, the size, the feet, also the head movement. Foster's beating him in everything. And I mean, there is a clear size difference, but it's not so pronounced to the point to where it's that excusable. Good left by Foster there. Wow. They say the stats are 102 punches to 36. Holy shit. God damn. Holy shit. I mean, I'm not. Wow. To be fair, I guess I've not seen Fulton land a whole lot. But damn. 105 to 36? Jesus. Ow.
So he's had success in San Antonio. Thus far for Stephen Fulton, it's been anything but a successful night.
Yeah, no, Fulton is he's found no answers. None.
He's been fighting air. Fulton, he hasn't landed. Can't get in.
Can't stress enough how dominant Foster is simply with the jab.
Foster looks like he has no fear of Fulton whatsoever. And to be honest, so far, of what we've seen, he shouldn't. Fulton has had nothing for him absolutely so far. Absolutely nothing.
Fulton's starting to look shell-shocked in the corner. He's not really even seeming to be paying attention to much.
Fulton looking shell-shocked. Fulton has a little bit, like, I'm not going to lie, and I don't mean to criticize him too much here, but Fulton almost like, because you've seen the same thing in the Inoue fight, and you kind of just see this with certain fighters, but it's like when Fulton doesn't really have that plan A that works for him, he kind of fucking folds, to be honest with you. And I don't mean like just from an intelligence standpoint. I mean like he just doesn't seem to be willing to get in there. And there are just certain fighters overall that just are not, like it almost kind of seems like he has a little bit of quit in him. And I know that that seems like a little bit maybe unfair to say, but it's just, I feel like you got to try something a little bit different here. And Fulton just appears to be doing the same things. And we kind of seen that from the Inoue fight as well. Interesting. Foster, I just know to switch back to right. This guy is so fucking confident over Fulton. He has switched from left to right multiple times in this fight. This is like debatably the biggest fight in his career. And Fulton is giving him fucking nothing. Wow. Good job on Foster. You got to give him a lot of credit here. Well, they said the left hand hurt Fulton. I don't know if that really hurt him. I don't know if it even landed. It's just Fulton's trying with the right hand, but he can't fucking reach him whatsoever. There's nothing there. And it's going to be interesting to see where Fulton goes after this. I think that he probably should go back down to 126. Yeah. No fucking way that he's ever fighting Shakur after this. Fulton not even looking at Mosley. That's why I kind of say he kind of comes across to someone who kind of quits a little bit mentally. I kind of seen it in the Inoue fight a little bit as well. I don't mean like quit in completion, because there are fighters that do that. But there's certain fighters that'll go through the motions and it'll look like on the surface to most people like they're not quitting. but they're really quitting because overall they just get so rattled that, they don't try anything new. They don't really try to risk it. And that's what I'm seeing here. Like, he's not really doing anything. And I mean, it's not like he's getting hit so badly to the point that he's not getting hit so bad to the fucking point to where it's like, you'd be so afraid to get in there. Like, because I've seen other fighters that they got criticized for quitting, like Nicholas Walters against Lomachenko. But Lomachenko was hitting that dude from like every fucking angle. He was getting his ass kicked. But Fulton is like, you can just tell that he's afraid to get hit with that shot, and I get it, but it's like, man, you're clearly losing this fight. You've made no adjustments. You're not really trying to get in there. It's like, I thought perhaps it was just a thing against Inoue because Inoue was just such a good boxer and the power was just so phenomenal. But even against Foster, and I understand that the reach and the power is there, but even when he's not getting hit as consistently, there's not really a whole lot of try. There's not really a whole lot of fucking try to get in there. That's that pretty boy syndrome. Jesus Christ. Isaac Pitbull Cruz. This is going to be a great fight. I'm super excited to see this fight. This is actually a perfect fight because this is all going to be about accuracy and slickness versus activity and toughness. And let me tell you what, Pitbull is not ugly guys grow up more tougher, not afraid to bleed. It's something else, my man. Some people just got it, some people don't. It could also just be that Stephen Fulton. I mean, I think a part of it definitely is that Fulton just doesn't kind of know how to get in there very well. And he's just afraid of that jab over the top and he just got hit with a great one too. Because his head movement is really getting exposed here. I think it's definitely a part of like he's trying to land shots, but it's just the same shit. A part of it is just that he just does not know how to get in there. His skills are getting exposed here. But another part of it also is like there's just simple shit that I know that he should probably know how to do that he's just not doing. Like it's not rocket science to understand how to double jab to get in there. It's not rocket science to stab that jab to the body. It's not rocket science to do those things, and he's still not doing it. So to be honest with you, it's a little bit of his boxing intellect is getting exposed here, but to be honest with you, his will is also getting exposed here a little bit as well. And to be honest, I think Fulton he's almost lost every round in this fight. Who was the favorite, by the way, heading in this fight? If I had to guess, it probably was Foster. But maybe the Inoue fight affects him. I don't think so. I don't think it affected him because the shit that I'm seeing from Fulton right here, I mean, a loss affects everybody. Don't get me wrong. But to say like it made him different, and that's the reason why I don't think that's it. Because I'm seeing the same things in the Inoue fight. Now, to be fair, he's trying here to get inside, but, I'll give him that. He's showing a little bit of heart, but, from a technical standpoint, it's just not there. I think he's just getting exposed, to be honest with you. Because I seen the same thing in the Inoue fight. These are the same faults that I also seen in the Inoue fight. He didn't have as good a head movement as Inoue. He didn't have as good a feet as Inoue. He didn't have as good of a jab as Inoue. And a big part of the reason why is because Inoue actually moved his head off the center line for that fight to compete with Fulton. And he had a problem with it in that fight. He's having a major problem with it in this fight as well. I just think that in all honesty that he's probably not as technically good as what a lot of us thought. He is trying a little bit more now to get on the inside, but it's just too late. It's the 10th round. You've basically lost every single fucking round. It's whatever. I mean, am I wrong? Look at Crawford and look at Ryan Garcia. I mean, I don't think Crawford's that ugly of a dude. I mean, I'm not gonna put him in a modeling contest or anything, but I don't think he's that ugly of a dude. I think it's just, and obviously you're joking around a little bit, my dude, but it's like, I know what you mean. Guys, I will say this, guys who are like, whether it's looks or whatever it is, people in general that are like less privileged, they have to fight to get what they want. But there's just sometimes people, whether it's their upbringing or their genetics, probably both, they just have that it factor. And Fulton just doesn't have that. Not to the point to where they do it. But the problem is with Ryan Garcia is that he is so fundamentally flawed. That's really the problem with him. Like he has his chin wide up in the air half of the time. He does not have the best feet. He does not move his head off the center line extraordinarily well. In order to avoid punches, he'll do like a little like 180 turn, which I don't think I've ever seen anyone do before, by the way. That's the problem with Ryan. Crawford is just, he's one of those dudes that was just fucking, he's a natural. Because he wasn't even facing like elite guys, I think, by the time that Timothy Bradley got there, and he just was fucking. He just knew he just knew what to do. I mean, shit. I don't know. You know what? But for your ugly theory, though, I don't know. I've seen some ugly ass motherfuckers that can't box to save their life. So I mean, shit. You guys remember that 7-foot Russian that fought Evander Holyfield that should have lost that fight? I never remember that dude's name. Dude that looked like a Neanderthal. That guy. Calling it now. The LDBC going to say Inoue ducking Foster next. I have no doubt that they're going to say that Inoue should fight Foster, and I think that it's too much of a jump up in weight, at least for right now. But I wouldn't be surprised at all. They're going to try to, milk something out of this. I think that's for sure. Yeah, this is a tough loss for Fulton. And I just don't think there's any excuses behind it. I mean, obviously he's a little bit smaller, if not a decent amount smaller. I mean, that's one excuse you can have. He did come in 2 pounds overweight, but I don't think that that's really what affected him. He doesn't look like his stamina is a problem. His skills are just getting exposed here. It just is what it is. Not only his intellect as a boxer, but his all-around skills and to be honest with you, a little bit of his will. I think that he kind of showed to be someone that doesn't really try as much as what certain people think on the surface. And in no way am I trying to just berate Fulton, but, I'm very honest and very blunt. It just is what it is. Fulton's fucking sticking out his tongue. Like, dude, come on. Bloody ass face. You're getting your ass beaten. You're sticking out your tongue. Like, come on. He just spit out a wad of blood. That's how you know a fighter's on his last legs. Sticking out his fucking tongue. That's when you know overall they're like, I know I'm getting my ass kicked, so I have to fucking show them that, I'm still in this fight. Fulton knows he's getting his ass kicked. I mean, he's been knowing it, obviously, but last fucking round. Jeez, this is tough to watch. I tell you what. Not because it's, not good little scrap, but damn for Fulton. Yep, see, he said the same shit that I've been saying the whole fucking fight. You have to move your head when you're moving in. His head movement is just not up to par. Like, I think the thing is with Fulton is that he was fighting some of these guys like Angelo Leo, and Brandon Figueroa, who are very good, but do have some more technical flaws than him and weren't as fast and, had as good as feet as him. And, he was able to beat those guys, and they're very good wins. But when he finally started facing guys who could, like, legitly box, a lot of his flaws started to finally show. Yeah, he is taking Fulton school. This fight has not been close at all. It's going to be interesting to see where Fulton goes from here because, I mean, where does he go? He went to 130, but it's really hard for me to believe that he really belongs there or that he went there because he thought he belonged there. If I were him, I would go back to 126. I would try to, get a title there or fight someone there. But to be honest with you, I don't know how many people he'd beat there either. I think he'd beat Brandon Figueroa because that's kind of a style that he would do good against, but I wouldn't favor him over Rafael Espinoza. I wouldn't favor him over I don't think I would favor him over Nick Ball. I'm trying to think who else is even there. And you even have to wonder if you'd completely favor him over guys like Robeisio Ramirez. I mean, he could definitely win some of those fights. Fulton is still very good. And this is a fight where he clearly is outsized. But a lot of his faults got showed here. I might have to get a fucking soda after this, guys. My goddamn throat is drying up here. I have to get some soda and ice. Yeah, see, Fulton keeps trying to throw that overhand right, but it's like it's a reach and it's an over an extension. Like an overextension, excuse me. Like it's just whenever a fighter does that, like we've seen the same thing with Lara's opponent, that means they just don't have any answers. There's only about a minute left, and Foster is just whooping this man's ass. Yeah, Foster, you can tell wants to knock out, but he wants to get that perfect shot. I think Fulton is crafty and skilled enough to not get killed with that one shot, but it is what it is. Fulton definitely not training with Bozy his next fight. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Honestly, I mean, of course, obviously, that'll be up to Fulton's choice, but it's like, I don't think that any of the advice that he was giving him was bad. To be honest with you, I think every piece of advice that he gave him was like apropos. He just wasn't fucking doing it. Like, because he was telling them double jab, he was telling them double, triple jab, jab to the body, get in there, overall move your head off the seat. Like he was telling them all the things I mean, listen, I'm not a pro boxer, guys, but at the end of the day, I at least know a thing or two. And all those things are basically the same shit that I was saying in the beginning of the fight. He didn't do any of them. He didn't do a fucking thing. But if I had to guess, I think Fulton will stay with him because those Philly boys are pretty, they're pretty loyal to each other. And on top of that, Bozianis has one of the hottest stars in boxing right now, Duran. So I think if I had to guess, I think Fulton will stay with him, but I could be wrong, unless he wasn't with him in the first place. But we'll see. Good left there by Foster. I will say, thing about Foster, his hands were down quite a bit in this fight, but it didn't really get as exposed possibly as what it could have because Fulton just really didn't get in there. So I'd be interested to see what he would look like against a guy like maybe an Abdullah Mason. I think that's that kid's name. I think Foster's more talented than Mason from what I've seen, but that'd still be an interesting fight. Technically wise, he is anyway. Physically, it might be Mason. But great performance by Foster, though. I mean, there's not really anything negative you can say there. Great performance. I would score that fight 118 to 110. So it was a little bit mixed. I agree with around those scorecards. One judge, I think, had it for 118 to 110. That's exactly what I scored it. Another judge had it, I think, like 119 to like 109 or something like that. or whatever that score was. And then another judge had it 117 and 111. Giving 3 rounds to Fulton is a little bit interesting to me. I don't think there was a legit 3 rounds you could actually give to him. But hey, everyone to their own. Let's see. No, Fulton excels against certain fighters, but boxers he struggles against. I agree. Because both times the same faults arose. Anyway. Let's see. Just goes to show how powerful Inoue is, though, because he KO'd Fulton, and even though Foster is dominant Fulton, he has not been able to stop Fulton, even with how big he is. Just goes to show how powerful Inoue is. I agree, and not just how powerful he is, but also how technical he is. He really just put on a great show against Fulton and was able to just completely knock him out. And the fact that Foster is like a decent amount bigger, not only just Fulton, but way bigger than Inoue. The fact that Inoue was able to stop him, I mean, it shows you how great Inoue actually is. Fulton is not comfortable on the front foot. I think that he's okay on the front foot to a degree, but it depends on who he's facing. There are certain fighters that can kind of fight on the front foot kind of against anybody or any type of style. But when he faces those boxers, it's almost like I think a part of the reason why he's so uncomfortable is his head just doesn't move up the center line as much as what you would think. So when your head does not move off the center line, you're afraid to go a little bit more on the front foot because you're running right into shit. So if you're moving to straight forward and straight back with your head, which a lot of times is what Fulton does, or will only cock it to the right, you're going to get hit. So that's kind of why I think he's a little bit uncomfortable. But it's like he does not have as good of skills as what you would think. But, you know, it is what it is. That's unfortunate because I wish I could have studied that fight a bit more, but it's whatever. Let's see. My man Jaime said I should have spent my $2,000 on a hooker. Yeah, you should have. God damn, man, that's a high class hooker. I tell you what, fuck. Living like Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie Wolf of Wall Street. Jesus fucking Christ. Getting fucking what do they call those? Anyone else watch the Wolf of Wall Street movie? They have like the pink sheets and then they have like the blue stock, like you getting a blue stock hooker. I love that fucking movie, by the way. Okay. Just quoting Fulton, he said he wasn't feeling strong when he went to Japan. You didn't have enough time to get acclimated. Yeah, and I don't believe him on that. I think that he felt strong enough. And I already reviewed a video where he said that he should have moved up in weight. All that is bullshit. Fulton is, in my view, around a natural 122, 126 pounder. He just got outboxed. It is what it is. We found out about them Philly monsters tonight. Well, Philly still has a lot of potential. You know what I mean? They have some of the Russell brothers still out there. But obviously, the biggest potential is Duran Bucenas. Philly is producing great fighters. We'll see. The fight that, of course, we're all looking forward to is Virgil Ortiz versus Duran Bucenas, which is a fantastic fight, by the way. King, I'm not sure if you're saying that Fulton said that he didn't have enough time, or if you're, in your opinion, he didn't have enough time. I'm assuming that you're saying that in your opinion he didn't have enough time. I think he personally did. Anyway, a lot of fighters struggle with head movement nowadays. Well, a lot of fighters struggle with head movement in general, but yeah, no, I agree with you. And Fulton's head movement is not quite as good as what you would think it is. Which I've always kind of noticed anyways, but I thought that Foster's head movement would be even worse from what I've seen in prior fights, and I was wrong. Let me give him a lot of credit, man. Up next is the Roach versus Cruz fight. This is the fight that I agree, realist. I just hate how much those people don't shut the fuck up about that city. I understand. If we're really going to be real about Philadelphia, Philadelphia pretty much is a piece of shit city. it is what it is. No offense if you're from Philly, but it is what it is. A lot of those cities of the fucking upper East Coast, they're just living garbage cans. It's just, they just are. It's whatever. But Lamont Roach looks ready. I've had better cheesesteaks outside of Philly. I've heard people say the same shit. I've never really heard a whole lot of good stuff about those fucking cities up there. I've not really heard, I've not really heard a lot of good places about New York. I've not really heard a lot of good things about fucking Philly or Boston or Baltimore. I've heard that, no one ever hears anything good about fucking New Jersey. Forget it. There's not one good thing I've ever heard about New Jersey. To be fair, I've never visited, but I guess I'll have to do it one day. It just looks like a shit show out there, though, man. Too crowded for me. Too dirty. No, I'm good. Let's see. I agree. Ray. Abdullah Mason versus Shock Foster is a great fighter, especially since Schofield isn't going to fight him. Yeah. I mean, I forgot about Schofield. I don't know why I thought Abdullah Mason and Floyd Schofield were the same person. Shit. I'll have to take a look at him. I live in Boston. It's cold and boring. Yeah, no, man. Fucking Boston is Boston's something else. I mean, I hear that some places are beautiful in Boston, but I don't fucking know. Everybody wants to leave. I've basically heard that as well. Talking about other cities, by the way, that I would never really want to fucking visit. Let's talk about fucking Cleveland. Get the hell out of here. I love Boston. Went there once. I see fucking okay. So my thing is like I've not traveled that much, man. I've the places that I love the most are the Carolinas. I went there when I was like very, very young. Loved it. Went to Charlotte. Went to some places down there, both North and South Carolina. I think it's just beautiful. It's got everything there. It's got like mountains. It's got a little bit of tropical areas. It's got city. It's got beach. It's got ocean. It's got everything. Those are my favorite places within the United States. Absolutely, not a doubt. But I still have not traveled that much. I went to Houston earlier this year, which I absolutely love, by the way. Houston was beautiful. A lot of people for sure, but it was beautiful. It was like it was like a lot of animals, which I love, and the people relatively nice there. A lot of interesting stuff there. Houston, I loved. Dallas, I thought was okay, but Houston was great. But yeah, Boston. Boston. Yeah, I can't stand those damn Boston accents. Oh man. No, the thing is about Boston though is like they always fucking tell you how Boston is also like that's another thing as well. They tell you like how Boston is so liberal as well. Or like how Boston is probably like the most least accepting place on the fucking planet. Like I've heard it's the most debatable, the most racist place on the fucking planet out of any other place. I mean, once again, I want to know. I've never been there, but I don't know. But I'd have to see. I've heard good and bad things about every city, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. Fucking but we'll see, dude. I don't know. I'll have to see. Houston, too much traffic. Nah, man, fucking Houston was so like no, I was down there and I had an appointment down there. That's kind of why I had to go down there. And I left for this fucking appointment. The place was 5 miles away. For anyone that knows my channel, I live in Omaha, Nebraska. It's a relatively big city, but it's definitely not a Houston. And if I want to get somewhere, say that's like 10 miles away, if I leave 20 minutes early, as long as it's not ass to ass traffic, I'll make it there. I left 25 fucking minutes early for Houston and I was late and it was like 5 miles away. That was something that I did not expect whatsoever. I was like, wow. I mean, I knew the traffic was going to be more than Omaha, but I was like, Jesus Christ. I've never had it to where 1 mile takes 10 minutes to get somewhere. I've never been in a place like that. And here comes out Isaac Pitbull Cruz, I believe. This is going to be an interesting fight. I might actually pull up my scorecard for this one. The other ones have been pretty easy to score, but this one's going to be interesting. Or is it Lamont Roach coming out first? Oh, that's Lamont Roach? I thought it was at first. Oh, you're from Houston? I loved Houston, man. I went there earlier this year. It's beautiful. It was so beautiful. I wanted to stay longer, really. But we just didn't have much time. Pitbull is one of those B-level fighters that could pull off some upsets. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's not extraordinarily multidimensional, but he's someone that is a lot better defensively than what people give him credit for. He has a lot of stamina, and he's someone that if you do not push the pace and if you are not only accurate but consistent, he will beat you because he puts everything into it. Where is my fucking score? There it is. Okay, there's my scorecard. I know that Jayo Pataya, I believe, fought today too, but unfortunately I couldn't watch it. Where the hell? Where the hell is fucking Roach versus Cruz? I know you gotta have it on you. Come on. Almost. There it is. All right. Let me check on UFC real quick as well, y'all. Hold on one sec. I'm not gonna give you all any spoilers, but I just need to check it. I do kind of want to make those last two UFC fight stuff because I want to see Merab, of course, and also Alexander Pantoja. That dude's phenomenal. He's fighting like Joshua Van, I think, tonight. That's gonna be a great fight. This guy says, I like Miami, the beach, the weather, and the BBLs. They type of guy. Miami seems like a place I'd really like, man. I like tropical. I like, animals and stuff like that. So, like, I'd love Florida in all honesty, dude. I think I'd love Miami. City, beach. My heart is more in the Carolinas, but Florida's like, it would be second place in all honesty, dude. I would fucking love to see that place. I want to see a gator too. I'd love to see a fucking alligator or a croc. That'd be cool. Just not in the water where I'm at, but this is going to be an interesting fight. I'll leave Boston for Miami. I think a lot of people would. I don't know many people that would pick Boston over Miami, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm wrong. It's like, feels like the people that would only pick Boston are those people that like have lived there for 25 years or like all their life. The people that sound like Matt Damon and fucking Ben Affleck from Good Will Hunting. Here comes Cruz. Nice little Mexican introduction. Yeah, no one exactly. That's what I said. I've never heard anyone ever say, you know what, I prefer Boston over Miami. I've never heard one person say that. I'm excited for this. Let me take a look at the reaches, actually, real quick, y'all. He's still wearing that fucking dog mask. Yeah, I mean, hey, man, it's his marketability, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan of it either, but hey, whatever. You gotta market yourself, I guess. I think it's a little bit weird too, but all right, let me take a look at their reaches, actually, y'all, because this is what I have not seen the size difference. I know that Cruz is a little bit shorter, obviously, but so is Roach. Okay, Roach, so 68 inches, 5'6". Let's take a look at Isaac Cruz. Let's see. 65 inches, 5'4". That actually was pretty much what I guessed. Okay. Let's see. Boston is for you if you want to settle down and send your kids to a good school. But other than that, that's I'd have to see. I don't know. I actually had some friends that told me that I should move up to New York. They told me that I should move. There's like a nice Brooklyn area, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but I'm sure there is. But I don't know. I like the city, actually. I do like bigger cities, but I don't want to be like directly in the clusterfuck of it. I want to at least have a little bit of freedom. I'm someone that doesn't want to be around like a whole bunch of loud noises. I'm good on that, homie. 5'4". Oh, apparently Roach is 5'7", according to them. And now the reach, that's interesting. They say 63.5-inch reaches for Cruz, but I looked it up and it said 65. Huh. I mean, maybe that was, It's going to be an interesting fight. I think Roach will be the more technical fighter. But if he is not consistent, then Cruz has the chance. De la noche. All right, ladies and gents, almost about to start. Let's see who gets it. Cotto versus Haney. What's up, brother? Salute. I think Cotto is definitely a better boxer than Devin Haney, or at least has more intangibles. But it would have been interesting because Cotto did at times have a problem with that in and out style. That being stated, though, Cotto did give a lot of great fighters some problems. Like, he gave Austin Trout a lot of hell, and Cotto was not really naturally the same size. He gave Mayweather hell. He beat Shane Mosley, who was a great fighter still, even at the time. I think I probably would have favored Cotto, but that would have been an interesting fight. Cotto was, in terms of boxing skills go, he was underrated in my view. Very underrated. But anyway. I think a fight that would have been interesting would have been Zab Judah versus Devin Haney. That would have been interesting. Because Zab had certain things that I think he would have maybe been able to take advantage of, but I think Haney would have won because I just think Zab, he just finds a way to peter out. Will there be a knockout? I don't predict that there will be a knockout. I think that is going to go to decision whoever wins. I'm going to predict very tentatively that Lamont Roach wins this fight. But like I said, if Isaac Cruz were to win this fight, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I'm going with Lamont Roach. That's what not only my gut tells me, but also my logic as well. Yeah, I'm going with my man Roach. Cotto versus Mosley could have went either way. They both landed the same amount of shots, with Mosley landing more power shots. Well, I've watched that fight multiple times. When I watched it when I was younger, I thought that Cotto won like just 7 rounds to 5. But now that I watch it now, honestly, and I think it was more competitive in the second half. I think Cotto started off greater, and then in the second half of the fight, that was when Cotto started slowing down a little bit. So the stats were similar, but I don't think the fight was close. Like, the fight was close and competitive in terms of like exchange back and forth. But in terms of a score, I think Cotto clearly won. I thought he at the very least won 8 rounds to 4. I thought it was a clear win for Cotto. But yeah. Yeah, I know the stats said that they landed both about 245 apiece. Or 248, whatever that says. But just taking a look at the fight, which is why you always have to watch the fight individually. Every time I've watched that fight now, I thought Cotto clearly won the fight, and I didn't think it was competitive enough to debate the split decision. I thought Cotto clearly won 8 rounds to 4. All right, guys, here we go. Let's see. A fight that was really close. Talking about Cotto, though, a fight that was really close was Claudia. I remember that fight where I thought that Cotto also just edged it out, but a lot of people thought that Claudia won that fight, and that was a fight that could have went either way. Keyshawn Davis versus Haney. To be honest, brother, I can't give you much of that right now because Keyshawn, I think, still needs a little bit of proving, and I have not seen enough of him. That's an interesting fight, though. Keyshawn is a great fighter, but I need to see more of him. The only thing I will say about Keyshawn is that I don't like how he doesn't move his head off the center line that well. And Haney is bigger than him in my view, and someone that moves in and out. So if Keyshawn is not careful, he could get outboxed. But that's an interesting fight. All right, guys, let's see. All right. Cruz out at the... Okay, Roach is exchanging. He gets an early left in there. Roach looks pretty comfortable at 140. He looks very... well, Cruz definitely does look thicker. There's no doubt. I like the way that Roach is using his lead hand, though. He's not just letting Cruz get in there and bully him. I will say, and I've already said this, Roach does have a problem with not being consistent enough with his punches. But as long as he is consistent and not wasting too much energy, he should win the fight. But he needs to be consistent and not stay up against the ropes, which so far he's doing pretty good. Also, go to that body. Good little right there by Cruz. I think good little right there by Cruz again. Yeah, Mars is saying the same thing that I was kind of worried about. Roach can't let Cruz get a little bit too comfortable. He has this tendency, like I said, to kind of let fighters get off a little bit too much. I know it's that in the Tank fight, where he could have took the lead a little bit more, but he just kind of let Gervonta get back in the fight a bit too much. And he cannot allow that against Cruz here, because Cruz is all action. Good little avoidance there. Good jab by Cruz. He's moving well, but the worry that I did have about Roach so far, it is kind of happening. He's not being consistent enough. Good right there by Roach. Great right. See, this is the problem. He cannot allow this. And at times, he does allow this a little bit too much. He's staying up against the ropes too much, not tying him up, and not being consistent enough. So far, what I'm seeing, I'm not really that surprised. But it is going to depend on how much he adjusts later on down the fight. This first round, though, I think I'm going to have to give the Cruz so far. I think he's more active. I think he's landed more. And I think he dictated the pace a bit more. Roach also needs to go to the body a bit more. Ooh, good little left by Roach. Knocked him off balance a little bit. I don't think it's enough to win the round. I think Cruz still won the round, but it's a tough round. Could go either way. I think the first round went to Cruz, though. That's just my view of it. I thought he landed a bit too much. I think Roach stayed up against the ropes a bit too long. So we'll see if he changes that. But Roach is going to have to be a bit more consistent. He's going to have to throw him where he's going to be first. Going to have to be first, excuse me. And he needs to take the tempo up in this fight a notch. Coach says he needs to catch him in between the exchanges. Yes, just need to be careful that you time it correctly, because if not, Cruz is looking for that. But the thing with the Cruz is that you already basically know what he's mainly going to throw. He'll throw a jab here and there, and he's just basically going to spam you with hooks. He don't really throw anything else. So it's like, that's basically the Cruz game plan. If you can time that, maybe some uppercuts here and there on the inside, you pretty much have it. And especially if you're able to use your feet, you got him. But that'll all depend on how good Roach actually is. Apparently, they both landed 13 punches in the first round. No, stats don't always tell the whole story. And from what I could see, it looked like Cruz was landing the more impactful. Good left by Cruz. Good left by Cruz. See, Roach is staying up against ropes too much here. You cannot fight Cruz in this range. Good left again by Cruz. Roach is huge. I mean, he does look pretty big, I will say. I think Roach is not doing super great right now. I think he's losing this fight so far. Nice try. Roach is definitely the faster of the two. Good left. See, but he's just backing up too straight. He's still using lateral movement. It's just not enough. Good right by Cruz. See, Cruz just said that the reason why he won this fight is because Roach is not going to run. See, he's seeing the same shit that I did, which is that Roach, at times, he does not use his feet enough, and he has good feet. The problem isn't, I think, that's feet. The problem is that he doesn't use them enough. He will stay within the range too long, and he is not throwing enough. And both of those problems are showing up. They're trying to act like this round is 50. This round is not 50-50. Cruz is whooping his ass. He is beating him. Like, he is winning this round. Cruz is landing too many power shots. And Roach needs to, A, get outside the range, and B, use more lateral movement, and C, be first. Good left by Roach, but not enough to win the round. I think Cruz has won the first two rounds. I think he's landed more. I think that he's landed the more impactful shots. I don't see how Roach is winning this fight. I want to see what people are saying, though. Cruz landed some really good fucking shots that round, and then in the replay they showed like the one fucking shot that Roach lands. Like, come on, man. I'm sorry, but that round was all Cruz. That was all Cruz. They're kind of, just in my view, and I think that Roach is the more talented fighter, but they're kind of swaying it a little bit more in the favor of Roach right now, I think, or at least trying to make it sound. I don't think this fight's even at all right now. I think that Cruz has landed more from what I've seen, and I think overall that he's looked better. Now, Roach does appear to be making some great adjustments in round 3. He is not staying up against the ropes. He's using lateral movement, and he's occupying the vacated space. All those things he needs to do. See, Roach needs to stop backing up in a straight line in those fucking corners. Okay, Roach is showing a little bit more this round, but one punch that I would really love for him to throw is that stabbing jab to the body. Cruz kind of uses that high guard, and I think that you can kind of use that to your advantage, but you got to be willing to do it. But I do think he's winning this round so far. So far, this is the best round for Roach in my view. I think the first two went to Pitbull. I think this round goes to Roach. The first round's kind of up for grabs, but the second round I thought was clearly Pitbull. Good little body shot there by Cruz. Roach is tying him up decently well, but I think he's still letting him on the inside a bit too much. I agree. Good little Philly shell there by Roach. So he's a very good, sound defensive fighter. Good right by Roach. I think so far this is Roach's best round, just in my view. Oh, he knocked him down. He knocked him down. Cruz gets the knockdown. In Roach's best round, he gets knocked down. Because he keeps trying to fucking exchange with them. It's okay to exchange at times, but he got too square and too sloppy there. Cruz got a little excited there. I think he started jumping up and down. He got fucking knocked down. See, now Roach is a little bit pissed off. Idiot. I don't think he's majorly hurt, but he got clearly knocked down. Good job by Cruz. I have him up every round. I have him up 4 points to 0. 30-26. And he tried to land that left, but the problem is that Cruz is just not a fighter that you just want to stand in the middle and just exchange with him too much. I want to see how Roach reacts to this, because he looks a little bit mentally off balance ever since that. And I don't think he won either of the first 2 rounds. I think he's lost every round so far. Yeah, it was just a glove touching the canvas, but that's a knockdown. That's the rules. See, the thing is that Roach is really trying to. I don't know how you give that second round to Roach. I really don't. Fighting at close range is just a bad idea against this dude. Like, he's not the fighter that you want to do that. I agree. Cruz is up 4 rounds. Well, he's up 3-0, but he's up 30-26. Basically 4 rounds to 0 because he got the knockdown in the third. I agree. I don't think he's won a single round. And it's all simple shit that he could be doing. That was a good right by Cruz, I think. This round right now is kind of up for grabs. Roach obviously is pissed, but he's just fighting in that exchange range. And I think it can work to a degree, but it's like, why would you do that the whole fight instead of just really using your feet and using the angles? Like, to me, it's like, I think his mentality is, I want to fight with, fire. Or I kind of want to fight him in this range because I know he's good in that range, and I want to war and I want to look, good, possibly even better than Tank. But it's like that's not the way to go about it, my man. Great fight so far, though. I think Roach is winning this round, but it's still tough. Good little left by Roach. Cruz does look like he's slowing down a little bit, I will say. It does look like the inside game of Roach is kind of perplexing him a little bit. Not majorly, but it is surprising him a bit. Good right hand to the body by Roach. Cruz tried to return, but I don't think any of those landed. Some good little inside work by both fighters. I think that Roach has been a little bit more active this round, though, and I think he's landed the more impactful shots. So far, this is the only round that I would give Roach. Oh, he hit a little bit afterwards there. He's frustrated. Yeah, Roach is – that's one thing I noticed about Roach, even in his last fight against Javante. You can kind of get in his head a little bit, just a little bit. He's still a mentally tough dude, but sometimes you can get in his head a little bit. I would give Roach that round. Oh, it was a low blow. Yeah, I would consider that a low blow. It was completely on the belt line, but if you're landing on like the whole entire belt line, that in my view is a low blow. I mean, from another angle, it looked more on the up, but it also looked. Oh well, no, that was a different punch. Never mind. Cruz has thrown 56 more total punches, but that might work against him because a lot of those have also been landing on shoulders and glove. He did get a little bit tired in the Jose Valenzuela fight, but Valenzuela also made him reach a lot more, and he used his feet and his length to his ability. Roach isn't really the most lengthiest fighter, not as Valenzuela, but he's someone that has quicker feet and someone overall that could really use that to his advantage. But he's fighting a little bit too much inside Cruz's range, I think. Oh, Cruz, they're both starting to throw low blows at each other. I think Roach is starting to adjust better, though. Oh, good left by Cruz, though. See, Roach is starting to get pissed off by these low blows, and I get it. But you can't just keep staring and bitching at the referee. Good left to the body by Cruz. Roach just needs to do more. He's just not doing enough. Good little left. Good upper. Cruz is winning this round. Cruz is winning this fight. I really thought that Roach was going to move around a little bit more in this fight. I knew that there was going to be way more moments in this fight where he was going to fight fire with fire than what a Tang did, for example. But I'm really surprised that he's just fighting there like the whole entire time. I don't think it's advisable, but that's going to be up to him. It's a great fight, but it's not advisable to win the fight against this guy like this. He's shorter. He's more compact. He's good defensively in that range. This is your first time at the weight class. Like, that's a Cruz is fighting a bit dirty. I'm not gonna lie. He's headbutting. He's low blowing. He's fighting a bit dirty. Yeah, even they just said it. They said that Cruz was leading with his head. Yeah, he sure was. Yeah, this is a very ugly fight so far in terms of dirty boxing. See Roach backed up there, which is great, but there was no return fire. Good left by Roach there, though. This round has been a little bit more tough to judge. This round's really tough to score. For any of you that might be new in here, I have Cruz winning every round other than the fourth round. The fifth round is tough, though. Okay, Roach returned some fire there. Okay. Good right by Cruz, though. He keeps rolling with it, but he won't keep that fucking left hand up. He keeps relying too much on the shoulder roll. And the overhand right can get past the shoulder roll. See, he's a little bit pissed right now. He's a little bit mentally off. I don't know. You know, I thought Cruz won the round. It's just my view. I thought he won the round. I think that Roach is down in this fight right now 4 rounds to 1. And pretty much 5 rounds to 1 because he got knocked down in round 3. So, yeah, that was amazing. I thought I seen that too. That was a 100% on purpose fucking headbutt right there. That needed to be called. He's fighting dirty in this fight. $75 for this card, kind of wild. It's a good card, but it just sucks that Janibek versus Lara got canceled and that Fulton versus Foster wasn't. Like, originally the card was so worth 75, but it's like there's so much shit that happened this week that really just depreciated the value. It's just very unfortunate. No, that's not illegal. Like that, like they were saying, whoa, because Cruz keeps bending down and then Roach takes a different angle and hits him. That's not legal. You can't just bend down and just fucking wait for the referee unless the fighter just, is bending over you. So Cruz is, I'm not gonna lie, he has some dirty ass tactics. Good little left to the body there by Cruz though. Good left by Roach. Good right by Cruz. Good right by Roach. Good left by Cruz. I just don't think Roach is doing enough to win this fight, guys. He's just not throwing enough, which I kind of stated was a concern earlier. But I thought he was going to use his feet more than this. He's just standing there. It's like, what in God's green earth would tell you that the proper strategy in this fight would be to stand there? And even if at first you thought, I'm going to fight fire with fire because I want to look really good tonight and make this fight entertaining and I want to look better than Gervonta, like, why would you not make adjustments eventually after a while, like after a few rounds? Maybe he thinks he's truly winning these rounds. I don't think he's winning these rounds. Agreed. It definitely is more of a risk than a. I mean, it's kind of both, but it's like it's a winnable fight if he fights right. But it's like he's not good right there by Roach, but good jab there by Roach. Good left by Roach. Roach might win this round. Cruz is backing up a little bit. Interesting. Yeah, this round has been close. It's been competitive. Good left by Cruz again, though. I think Roach may have just pulled this round out, though. You got to keep that fucking left hand up, though, man. He keeps doing this fucking shoulder roll, and I get it. But don't do it every time. It's like, fucking A. I'll give Roach that round, but he's literally has to win like the whole entire second half of this fight. So that's 58 to 55. Cruz has basically won 5 rounds in my view. This makes Tank look even more overrated. Well, they'll probably try to twist it because obviously, Tank looked better against Cruz so far than what Roach did. But I agree, it's also not a great look because Tank didn't look great against either of these guys. So they say Lamont Roach is outlanding Cruz 101. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. There's no way he's outlanding Cruz. I'm sorry. He's not throwing more than Cruz. I'm not seeing him legitly land more than Cruz. Like, I'm sorry, man. No. There's no way. I'm sorry, but there's no way that's correct. I mean, maybe I'd have to rewatch it, but that's just not what I'm seeing. I do think that it's close, but I don't really see how he's outlanding him. Good left there by Roach. Good little uppercut. Roach is starting to adjust more, so that's good. Roach, you know what? Let me give Roach some credit here. He knows how to fight dirty back when he fights, a dirty fighter. He knows how to give back. Good uppercut by Roach. So, you know what? I give Roach a lot of credit. He has a great shoulder roll. He has a good inside game, too. He can fight within any range. He's a really, really good boxer. But I just think that it would also benefit you to use your feet more in this fight. Cruz needs to learn not clinching every time he gets inside and end up with clinching. I would kind of agree. I mean, it's great to clinch, obviously. And the way that Cruz fights, like, he likes to do it because he can kind of stab those little hooks in there and it like tires his opponents out. And he's so short and compact that it's kind of hard to return fire at times. But he's fighting a fighter that also knows how to fight on the inside, and it's kind of starting to fire back against him. Cruz is starting to tire out a little bit here, which may have been a part of Roach's strategy. I was kind of wondering that a little bit earlier, but it's just interesting because Cruz is not a guy that... Oh, he got deducted a point. You know what? Good. Because, listen, Cruz is fighting a good fight, but he's fighting a bit dirty. He is throwing a bit too low. That's interesting because if Lamont Roach wins this round now, then that means he's going to win this round 10-8. Okay. And listen, sometimes, a ref does that and it feels like it's a little bit of home cooking, but I think it was the proper call because Cruz is doing some shit that is a little bit dirty. He's headbutting. He is low blowing a lot. A point needed to be taken away. Good left by Roach. See, Cruz is starting to have a little bit more. He's starting to wing his shots, and he's starting to not be able to get inside. He's starting to wing his shots from the mid-range. And when Cruz starts doing that, winging those shots, that's when you know he's in trouble because that's not his game. He likes to wing more on the inside. When he's winging those shots, Roach he definitely has enough rounds left because a point deduction just happened this round, and I think Roach won this round. So now he got a 10-8 round. There's way more than enough rounds left, and Cruz is starting to slow down, which we've seen before when the fighters have used their feet. But Roach has seemingly done it a little bit on the inside, which seemed to be probably a little bit of the strategy, but it's a little bit risky because Cruz is just so efficient on the inside, and he's so short and compact. Let's see what he Oh wow, he took a point away from Cruz for clinching. I mean, Cruz is clinching a lot, and he is kind of not following shit. So I still agree with the point deduction, just in my personal view. Cruz is starting to slow down. I think he's ahead, but he's only ahead by 1 point now, in my view. And now the money line is even, which means that they're seeing the same shit that I'm seeing. There's definitely way more than enough rounds. There's 5 rounds left. And Roach looks like he's the fresher fighter by a lot. Good jab by Roach. Yeah, they have the exact same score that 66. That's the same exact score that I have. Same exact score. Cruz looks tired. His feet are not as quick. He's breathing heavy. He's not throwing as much. And now he's starting to bitch more to the ref. It definitely is an ugly fight, but it's entertaining. Like, this is a good fight. Cruz needs that second win. Cruz, he's a little bit interesting because there's times where I've seen him not tire out in the fight, and then there will be times where I do see him tire out in the fight. Like against Valenzuela, he seemed tired, but obviously because he used his feet. But against Gervonta, now maybe Gervonta just wasn't able to throw enough. I don't know. But Cruz didn't seem to really tire out in that fight from what I remember. But I guess Cruz tends to run out of stamina a little bit, not only because of how many punches he throws, but if you're able to really stay and kind of not let him get his game plan off or compete with him in certain ranges, he will tire out. That's what we've seen. And he's starting to lose some answers here. There should be limited clinching per round each fighter. Well, I don't mind the clinching in all honesty. I mean, that's not a bad point because sometimes it gets too much. But it's like I don't mind the clinching if as long as you're not doing it overtly so much to the point to where it's a problem. And it's like Cruz is doing it, and not only is he doing it, but he's not following the right directions of the referee. So it's like that's the problem. I mean, Roach has had a few moments as well. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, Cruz needs to fight at 130 to 135. I mean, you could definitely debate that. He's not the biggest fighter. That being said, neither is Roach. But I know what you're saying. See, Cruz is on the back foot. When he's on the back foot like this, that's when you know he's in deep shit. Because Cruz cannot fight on the back foot. At least not like a Roach. See, now he's in recuperation mode right now. He's trying to gain some stamina and trying to also mix things up by running him into a shot. See, Cruz is sticking his tongue on that because he knows he's fucking losing this fight now. He knows. Like I said, whenever you see a fighter all of a sudden change energies like that, that's when you know they're losing. Someone said, don't mean to be ignorant. I know it's a part of the sport, but Floyd and Bud Crawford don't do a lot of clinching. Crawford's not really as much of a clincher now. He don't clinch quite as much. Floyd can at times. I've seen fights where he clinches a lot, like against Pacquiao and some other ones. But, you know, for example, Ali is actually the one that used to clinch a whole lot without really receiving a whole lot of criticism for it. But I mean, if there was a rule for like clinching that much, though, I get it because it makes the fight not only less entertaining, but B, it just makes it a very ugly fight. So I mean, I don't mind clinches, but if there was a rule in place, I wouldn't be because people who use an overt amount of clinches, a lot of those guys are dirty bastards too. Not just Cruz in this fight. Two fighters that love to use the clinch and then that head butting and fucking hit you on the inside type of style while pushing you back. Evander Holyfield did it to a degree, but the kings of that fucking style were really Bernard Hopkins and Andre S.O.G. Ward. Those bastards would use their head as a battering ram. They would fucking head straight in there, try to push you back, and then overall try to land those little shots on the inside. And those little shots on the inside aren't a problem, but pushing someone back, completely trying to make them off balance and just ramming your head in there into someone's face and our shit like that, no, that shit's illegal. Anyway, I think Roach is starting to take over now, though. Cruz is still getting some shots in there, but it's nowhere near to the same degree. Sometimes the fighter, they end up getting one great performance and, or sometimes it happens to certain athletes. They end up getting one great performance over a certain athlete and they just completely transform into something new. I've seen it. In basketball, tennis, everything. And Roach is kind of similar. He had that very good performance over Devontae, a fight where he was not expected to win. And ever since then, it looked like he's even improved ever since then. Now, he does still have some of the same faults that I've seen, but he's just a very fresh, he's a great all-around complete fighter, to be honest with you. But he will have to make certain adjustments, in my view, to become, even higher on the level. And then the question will be, can he beat guys like Tio, Shakur, other guys like that? I'm not quite sure about that. I definitely wouldn't favor him over Shakur. Tio would be an interesting fight, though. That'd be interesting. I'll tell you what. So we'll see. Good left by Roach. Good shots there. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen Isaac Pitbull Cruz knocked down before. Good left by Roach. Yeah, this is a wrestling match. This is a very bad wrestling match. But I think that was another Roach run. Cruz has no second win. And I think he knows it. 130 pounds, Floyd would destroy all these dudes. I definitely agree with that. Floyd, in my view, is kind of someone that I would say is around more naturally like 140, just because he's like 5'8" and 72 inches of reach, but he doesn't rehydrate like any heavier than like 153 pounds. So I would say like he's around a 140, maybe 135 pounder. But because of his height and reach, I would claim 140 because I'm always a sticker for height and reach. But yeah, there's really no fighter, to be honest with you, other than Terrence Bud Crawford of the past, I don't know how many years that I would really favor to give Floyd a really great fight. Yeah, Floyd at 130 would have completely dominated these guys. I have no doubt about that. Just too skilled, too athletic, too skilled, too intelligent. Agreed. Roach is outlanded. Yeah, it seems like it. Good left by Roach. So far, the fight's pretty much going exactly how I thought it was going to go. I thought that Roach is going to use his feet a little bit more in the early round, and then I thought he was going to kind of, kind of pull it out a little bit more in the latter half. But I really thought he was going to use his feet a bit more. But the way he's fighting now is the way that I thought he was going to kind of fight in the first round, or the first part of the fight. Excuse me. Yeah, Cruz is trying, but he's missing. He has nothing. He has no fight. See, he's getting so pissed. He keeps fucking around because he knows he has no answers. Cruz is pretty much what I always thought he was. He's a very solid B grade level fighter. He can beat some okay names, but he's never going to be an A grade guy. He doesn't have any dimension other than going forward. He pretty much spams hooks, and that's really about all he can do. He's very solid defensively. He's someone that, is an all right offensive fighter, but he's never going to be elite. Man said he's giving Roach 4 consecutive rounds. I don't know if I've given him 4 consecutive rounds, unless he's counting this one. But let me see. Oh, no, you know what? I have given him 4 consecutive rounds. Look at that. I got to sit up. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Good jab by Roach. Well, I mean, it's kind of the footwork, but Roach really isn't even using his feet as much as what he probably is. I just think that Cruz don't have any more answers at this point. Once he's seen that Roach could actually compete with him on the inside, Cruz kind of gave up a little bit, or I think he knows that he doesn't really have any more answers. Yeah, I think Roach won this round too. And there's still like, what, 3-4 rounds left? Oh, no, there's 2. Yeah, I have Roach up by 2 points right now. So Cruz would have to win these last 2 rounds in order to make it a draw or get a knockdown. I like this dude Roach though. He's a really good fighter. He's got a lot of dog in him. He gets a little bit pissed off sometimes. He can get in his head a little bit early, but he quickly recovers. I like that about him. Only thing is that sometimes he kind of stays in the range a little bit too long and kind of needs to get off a little bit more. This trainer's cracking me up. Yes. Oh, that's his father. Okay, that might be why. He said the same shit that I said. He said, someone check Senior's blood pressure. That guy was going crazy in the corner. Good little right there by Cruz. Wow, you have... Larry has this fucking fight. How the fuck did you give round 9 to Cruz, dude? What the fuck are you talking about, man? Good left by Roach. I think the second half of the fight is pretty easy to score. I just don't think Cruz is really landing shit. And the fact that he's also... That was a good left right there, though. But the fact that he's also backing up, and that's not a part of his style, the judges kind of see that as well. They will judge that because they oftentimes will judge off of what the tempo is of the fight and how you usually fight. I would be a little bit surprised, in all honesty, if it was a draw. I think they're looking to move around Lamont Roach Jr. a little bit. I don't think they really give a fuck if Isaac Cruz wins this fight or not. I could be wrong. But I think they're trying to make Roach into a little bit of a bigger star to maybe make the Gervonta Tank Davis fight a little bit later on, if they can. But I don't think it really deserves to be a draw. Not unless Pitbull does something major. And I don't see it. That'd be somewhat of a robbery if Roach especially wins this next round, because I think he's clearly winning this one. That'd be a robbery in my view. I don't see this fight being a draw, but I guess you never know. The Tank fight I knew was going to be a draw. I mean, I could just feel it. Anytime there's a super A grade level fighter that was in a tough fight, especially against a fighter that they didn't expect it to be tough, it's always a draw every time. But this fight, I don't think it's going to be a draw. Good left again by Roach. Roach has a really good left. That looked like another headbutt to me. Although Cruz did get some shots in there. Roach kind of fought in a range that he probably shouldn't have right there. Good left by Cruz. I'm still going to give Roach that round, but Cruz may have just sold it with that. I think Roach still deserved that round, though. I want to hear Boxing Ego's fucking analysis after this. He's just taking a look at this fight, just shitting all over Lamont Roach right now. He's just fucking... Of course, he might be actually uplifting Roach because that makes Gervonta Tank Davis look better. I have Roach up by 3 points. All right, 12th and final round, boys. Well, ladies and gents, I should say. I think Cruz is going to need some dramatic. I think that he's just... The second half of this fight has been all Roach. And Roach is pretty much just in coast mode, and Cruz still does not have a lot of answers there. Good uppercut by Roach. Nice try with the left, but it missed. Cruz is trying, but he just there's just not much he has left. Nice try by Cruz. Oh, good right by Cruz. Good. However, ooh, they're exchanging a little bit here. Roach, don't get yourself knocked down. Crowd is cheering for Pitbull. It's a tough round, for sure. This round could kind of go either way. Ooh, good left by Cruz. I think Cruz might be winning this last round, though. I don't think it's enough to win the fight, but it's fucking Cruz using lateral movement now. Interesting. Good little left to the body there by Cruz. I think Cruz, you can argue, could have done enough to win this. If this is a draw, I wonder what Tank's going to do. You know he's probably going to talk shit. Oh, man. I didn't even hear anything about Tank fighting the winner of this, but like fucking, I don't know. I don't know what Tank's, I don't know. Oh, who fucking knows what Tank's going to do? Other than fight another B grade level fighter. But I think Roach won the fight. I gave Cruz that last round. Great fight, in all honesty. The fight kind of went down how I thought it was going to go. Yeah, they're pretty much the consensus is that Roach probably won this fight. I think Cruz had a good showing. Pretty much what I thought it was going to be. But Roach won the fight. He won the fight. Those Mexicans are booing the shit out of him. Oh, man. Some things never change. I have a theory that the boxing gods cursed Tank for all the ducking he's been doing. That's why the Jake Paul fight didn't go through. I don't know exactly why the fuck that fight didn't go through, actually. I didn't take a look at it at all. I don't know, man. I think Tank, it's so unfortunate because he's wasted so much of his career. But we'll see. You know, it'd be fucking crazy if Jake Paul actually somehow got a knockout over AJ. The boxing world would just be in shambles. People are gonna bitch about this decision either way, probably. But for those of us that take a look at it a little bit more objectively, I think that I think Roach didn't have to win the fight. Great fight, great fight. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. Fuck. This has been a long night. Jesus. Since the fight's almost over, man, it's been great to fucking be with you guys here tonight. We're going to take a look at the decision. And then I got to go down. I got to watch me some UFC a little bit. This is a fantastic fight. I wouldn't be shocked if it was a draw, but I just don't expect it to be a draw. I think that, you know what? This will be my prediction. I think it'll be a split decision victory for Roach. That's what I think. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. Our judge at ringside, Chris Taya, scores the action 115 to 111 in favor of Isaac Cruz.
Split decision. What did I tell you guys? I fucking knew it. No way that's for Cruz. That is horse shit. Get the fuck. That is a robbery. A draw? Are you kidding me, dude? That's no fucking draw. Get the fuck out of here. Wow, Devo, I guess you were right, my man. I really did not think they were going to do a draw. I really did not think they were going to do a draw for this. Wow. That's bullshit.
I think I pulled that fight out a close victory. All I want is a fair shake. That's it. You took the situation on the tape and the story.
Wow.
You took it in stride. How much more frustrating is it for you to have this happen twice? There's some bullshit, man. I don't know what I gotta do. I don't know, but we're gonna go back to the drawing board. I don't accept this at all. I clearly thought I wanted a close fight. And, I'm tired of this shit. You fought on his terms inside and met his pressure head on. How difficult was that?
How the fuck do you see the fight 115 to 111 for Cruz, though? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, hold on. Like, how? Hold on. Because that means, like, that means you gave Cruz like 7 fucking rounds in the fight. How do you give him 7 rounds in that fight? That's not even possible. Wow. That's really unfortunate to see, dude. I really didn't think they were going to give him 2 draws in a row. That's sad to see. I mean, don't get it wrong. Like, it was a close fight, but Roach clearly won the fight. Wow.
I did my job. I did my work. The referee was on his side, and obviously you saw that the judges too. I thought I won this fight, and the crowd here in San Antonio saw that I won this. Roach stood his ground.
Wow. I guess that's it for me tonight, guys, man. That's he said them and then meteorologist. Yeah, fucking horse shit, dude. Wow. How do you see that 113 and 113 too? Like, I don't understand that. I'll have to rewatch it, but wow.
Absolutely, with the different referee though, with now the referee being on his side. What was your issue with the clinch?
I thought Roach won, but he did at times make it a bit more competitive than what it needed to be. But it looked clear to me like they were trying to get Cruz to win that fight. It was not that close to where it could have been a draw in my view. But whatever. But that's pretty much about it for me overall. That's pretty much about me. About it for today. They don't want to see another Mexican lose. I don't think it has anything to do with that, to be honest with you, my man. Because I don't think they give a fuck about Cruz, to be honest with you. I think it's more about Tank. But we'll see. No, referee didn't take shit from you, dude. You were fighting dirty as fuck. Isaac was fighting dirty as hell. He was fighting dirty as all fuck. Tiffany and Doncha always crying victims. Man, it's whatever. But anyways, thank y'all for tuning in, man. That's unfortunate. I thought Roach won that fight. He did at times make it a little bit too close, but I don't. If his name would have been a higher level name, he would have won the fight. It is what it is. But that's the thing. You gotta. Jesus Christ, you guys. Anyways, man, I'll talk to y'all later, man. That's unfortunate to see. I'll do a video here in a bit, guys. Man, that sucks. Hey, man, but credit to you, Devo. Man, you fucking got it. You called it. That's crazy. Wow. I've never seen a fighter get, well, other than Mario Barrios, but he's ass. I've never seen another fighter, especially under like such a microscope, like get 2 draws. Wow. Anyways. But that pretty much is about it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, whoever y'all are. Thank y'all. I'll do a video here in a little bit. Thank y'all so much.